Alright, hello, welcome everyone. Tacticalist here, and welcome back to another Wednesday Faction Wars. This week we are trying the vampire camps again. Yeah, I'm thinking of using a rather niche vampire lord this week. Normally, after the Purple Son of Zeru's buff, people are bringing Manfred a lot. But I'm thinking there's another character who does have access to Purple Son of Zerus in the Vampire Count roster, and that is the Necrarch Vampire Lord. So I was thinking, maybe I can use him, perhaps, to do some funny things. Wait, shit, he has Wild Heart as well. So he can definitely charge up those Winds of Magic fast. Holy fuck. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna do that. The Hunger, Dark Protection. Let's drop a zombie dragon here. We're fighting Chaos Dwarf, so we're gonna have to deal with a lot of... Wait, what? What? Wait, since when? What? Is that a bug with the Vampire Counts where Morgul somehow got shoved into the Vampire Counts roster? I think that is the bug, right? It has to be a bug, right? Either ways, we're not supposed to bring that, I assume. What else? We need to take something to deal with possible armored units, as in like, armored monsters, which, well, vampire counts really suck at fighting. So, Blood Knights with Lances again? Alright. The Necrarch Vampire Lord, and, yeah. Maybe we can bring a couple White Kings. One White King, just to try and, it's not gonna be useful here. Let me think. No, they were added last patch, but you can't take them in quick battles anyways. It's counted as campaign unit. It should be in the extended roster then, not in the monster and battles. Monsters and beasts part of the map, of the roster. So that's weird. But either ways, not our concern right now. Just take some grave gods and yeah, Conraves, maybe? I mean, we already have, we already have tools to deal with the heavy infantry, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. Let's just, oh wait, too many Blood Knights, nope. A couple of Blood Knights, a couple Balefire, no. Unholy also, yeah, a couple, yeah, let's just bring normal Corpse Guards. Brave God's not gonna be useful here. Let's just take a bunch of Scalies. How do we kill? I mean, we'll probably need Vargheists, a few of them. Bats. And other Vargheists. Have to be careful. Have to play this one carefully though. Oh, actually, vampires also have access to Purple Son of Zeru's, but I don't feel like we need it per se. Or what we can do is cut one of these and then just bring a Vampirates and just bring a Mortal Will on Hellsteed. Both of you guys go on the Hellsteed and shit, that's expensive. Never mind. Yeah, we'll just roll around with a Hellsteed and bring more of the army over. Necromancer on a Corpse Card. With Forbidden Rod. Nah, it's at that point we might as well just bring Those look like zombie lobsters. They kind of are when you think about it. Very strong forearms, but yeah. 50 more gold. Damn it. Bring regular zombies and just bring in other lances and barding and see what happens here. Yeah, we'll just try and see what happens with this build then. That's something to kill infantry. Swarm their positions with sheer numbers. Dogs are not gonna be useful here just because they are just gonna die to all the armored units. Maybe I want a dog, maybe not. We'll just grab a couple of corpse guard that doesn't even bring passive kills. Alright, cool. Yeah, we'll just do that. Whatever. Let's go. Let's go. Hello, Spotify. I noticed you didn't switch back to Dowie, because the other Dowie player, Crowd Metal, had to bow off the 20, so I was expecting you to just go back to using Dowie again, but oh well. Like to see Beastmen too. I actually haven't seen people picking Beastmen in Faction Wars for a while. Or maybe I just didn't really pay attention much. No, I definitely saw Beastmen occasionally, with Malagor leading them every time, but yeah. Anyways, this time we are just bringing a Purple Sun caster. Just for the Purple Sun, and if needed, Spirit Leeches and Spirit Leech and Invocation of Neheg as well, but I hope we don't need that. Anyways, alright, cool. We just have to play this one really, really freaking slow. And put our caster in the forest there.
The cattle rise against us.
Can he hide? No, he can't. Damn it. You're in the forest. You're literally on the forest grounds. Why are you not hiding? Oh wait, no, the Pegasus doesn't have hide. Okay, never mind. All right, we're flying. Whatever. I didn't realize. If anything, Pegasus, Hellsteed, Dark Pegasus, that sort of stuff should have hide. Although, well, I guess CA just can't be bothered to make additional conditions for hiding. Because if it's flying, it shouldn't be hiding. But if it lands, it should hide. But I guess CA just can't be bothered to add another perimeter to the hide trait. So we have that instead. Alright, anyways. Enough of me speculating on stuff. Alright, let's see how we can play this one. I've always been struggling with vampire counts. Not the problem of the faction. Okay, maybe a little bit problem of the faction, to be honest. But still, a good chunk of that is because I screw up the micro of them. So I wouldn't say it's entirely the faction's fault. Alright, we're all ready. We're just gonna message our opponent and let them know we're good to go. Like fun. My opponent is probably expecting Pearl Son of Zeus already, because I already said I'm using the Necrarch Lord in the Discord and on challenge. So yeah, I don't see a the Immortals in the Purple Sun meta. Oh my god, a brave soul indeed. That's a lot of net. And okay, I'm just gonna keep my caster far back there. You guys can maybe fly on in a bit closer. And you guys will have to move up first. And okay, these guys actually, you know, alright. Yeah, these guys will have to move up as well. Our flyers, casters, that sort can just hang back. Alright, you guys go and fight that. Zombies, you can just die. I don't really care about what you do. Right. Immortals in the Purple Sun meta. It's a very brave choice. Not something I would agree with, and these are just regular corpse guys. I don't really care, honestly. Alright, that's some pretty good damage. Let's just move in our skellies. They died anyway. Alright, let's run and send these guys in. Bats, go and deal with that. You guys can move back over there. Are these blood? Yeah, these are blood knights. Let's slam those from behind a bit there. Alright, I think we can squeeze out another purple sun soonish. So, and what is our blood knights doing? Alright, cool. Let's just start moving. And oh wait, what are you doing? Dive! Dive them, please! Alright, let's just keep them occupied while we're at it. Alright, let's just swarm them. These guys are dying, but I'm just saving up my stuff for another. Alright, let's just jump them on the ground. Whatever. Alright, let's chase them down a bit, start pushing them with stuff. Alright, we're getting some damage in, which is not bad, I guess. Alright, let's just start chasing them. We can hold back some of our forces. Blood Knights, you guys are pulled back over there. And our flyers are almost all dead. Alright, let's fly away. Alright, let's just pull them out of position. You start running. Oh, cool. We can start sending stuff over there then.
Van Hell's will.
Alright, okay, that did not work out. I was hoping they can dodge a little bit more nimble, but holy fuck. The Blood Knights are dying hard. Oh, they got hit by, huh.
Excellent.
They probably got hit by... Huh, they must be hit by something, right? Alright, let's see if we can do another charge onto them, counter-charge them. Black Knights move on over and charge them. Spirit Leech, and losing our Varguys is not great, and we fucked up the micro a bit there with the cavalry. Not gonna lie. And we can't use our magic now.
With haste, mortals quail.
Yeah, we screwed up a micro a bit, which is not great. Especially the Varguys. It's Alright, we have the mobility core, but oh yeah, and the Blood Knights didn't do. Yeah, they did some damage. They did some damage. Oh, not the other one. Kept them in the fights for too long, and they are just dying in attrition. Yeah, that was suboptimal in terms of micro there. Not gonna lie. But yeah, GG for opponent. Very nice box build that held the ground. I hope. I still suck at playing with Varguys, honestly. They died so fast, man. I think this build has potential. I just need to play my hand a little bit better. Especially the Varguys, man. Yeah, I just never come. I just never able to. I just really struggle with Varguys. Their lack of durability really screws me over. I mean, it's definitely, I think it's definitely skill issues on my side. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I need to think about how to use them better. What kind of targets they should prioritize and stuff like that. But yeah, the Blood Knights did all right. Not this one, not so much accurate. This one's on the left. This one's on the right. And I think I just send these guys to recharge some laborers instead of prioritizing the Kadai Fireborn, who managed to just jump them and get some pretty good AP damage. Varguys are the high ceiling on the counts. So high it is almost a player trap. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. I don't have, as you can tell, I don't necessarily have the best micro here, and the VAR guys is just I just really struggle to make them work in general. Like I send them in, and 2 seconds later, I look away for 2 seconds, and they just starts crumbling afterwards, which is not great. And the fact that my opponent brought Zazen the Black is a really nice use combo with the Hobgobble Archers, using the net to pin down one of the far guys, and then the Hobgobble Archers can start like spamming shots onto them. I probably should have just went for a zombie summon. That might have worked better. Like I did some good damage to the Immortals, but the main concern here, it wasn't even about the Immortals anymore. It's the Kadai Fireborn and the double Flying Cows. And yeah, GG to our opponent. Very nice win. And let's see if we are in the next, if we are moving on to the next round, or are we casting some replays first? Alright, looks like there is still one more battle going on right now, so we are gonna go and check out some replays while we're at it. Okay, let's check out the Tomb Kings versus Warriors of Chaos. Immortal strong, just ignore the fact they were fighting zombies for the whole game. 280 kills, man. Impressive kill count on Immortals for a grand total of like, what, 300 gold? Yeah. Anyways, this time we have Sandfishy versus Inkha. Sandfishy going with the Tomb Kings, and because this is a in this 20, we are actually allowing some of the campaign only units. That doesn't sound too broken. For example, if you're playing as Arkan the Black, he does have access to Hex Raves, Fellbats, the Dire Wolves, and the Crypt Ghouls. Wait, where are the Crypt Ghouls? Hold on, where? I thought I saw Crypt Ghouls on the army buildings. Oh right, yeah, it's Vanguard deployed. Yeah. So yeah, the limit is 2 units each. So you can bring 2 Fellbats, 2 Crypt Ghouls, 2 Hex Raves, and 2 Dire Wolves. And so yeah, Prime or Sandfishy here decided to bring everything to their unit cap. As for the front line there, multiple Skeleton Warriors, 2 Spears, 1 regular Sword one, and then 2 more Ushapti Great, 3 Ushapti Great Bows, 1 of them the Chosen of the Gods, and yeah, that's it for the main army. Leading the army is Arkan the Black, and he is having Spirit Leech and Purple Son of Zeruz, Tomb Blade of Arkan for the Skeleton Summon, and of course the Lich, Staff of Vangash, sorry. On the other side, for the Warriors of Chaos from Inkha's, a front line of Forsaken with some more damage dealing units here. Wait, hold on. I swear I saw some. Oh wait, yeah, Forsaken of Slaanesh. 3 regular Forsaken and 2 Forsaken of Slaanesh, plus 2 more Trolls. 1 Bile Troll, the Nurgle one, plus an Armored Chaos Troll. Rotting Riders, the Regiment of Renowned Rot Knights, and 3 units of Marauder Horsemen, and leading the army, Archaon with Burning Head and Spirit Leech. Let's get a battle started here. This is definitely not a typical Tomb King's army, as these are campaign-only units that you don't usually see. Let's fast forward a bit. I think round 2 is starting. So yeah, the Warriors of Chaos is straight up rushing, and the Forsaken should have no problem beating down those Crypt Ghouls. You can see the Crypt Ghouls are weak against armor, and Forsaken are indeed armored. Hex Raves are trying to go for a head-on charge to use their armor-piercing damage to their advantage, and they are absolutely cracking apart these Forsaken, while the Marauder Horsemen throwing anchors are being hammered pretty hard by those long-range Shafties. Burning Hand on the front line, burning down those Crypt Ghouls. One of the Forsaken has been dealt with by the Hex Raves. Spirit Leech battle between Arkan the Black and Archaon the Ever-Chosen right now. Archaon did spend some magic on the Burning Head, so he would have less magic for Spirit Leeches. Right now, Archaon and the Rotting Riders are really prioritizing those Chosen of the Gods and Ushaptis at the back right now. The Warriors of Chaos don't have a lot of mobility. in terms of melee, and with only one elite, super elite cavalry, it is the obvious target of a lot of focus fire from the Shaptis and the Hax Wraiths piling in as well. Immediately, the Rotting Riders are on the verge of terror routing. Oh well, they don't really care about terror routes, but yeah, they're already on the verge of routing. Arcan is barely stabilizing their leadership by being that encouraging presence. But the Rotting Riders are really suffering and barely holding on right now. Though one of those Shapti has been shut down for now, as multiple horsemen pile on, but that opened them up to a Hax Wraith rear charge, which immediately terrifies all these horsemen here. So a lot of these armor-piercing skirmishers are being pushed back, while the Shaptis have been secured by those Hax Wraiths. Even the Rotting Riders are now pinned down by the Hax Wraiths, unable to go after those Chosen of the Gods. So it is pretty much, I think it's pretty much victory for the Tomb Kings. Balance of power is in favor of them. All 3 units of Murder with Throwing Axes, Murder Horsemen with Throwing Axes, have been pushed back. One shattered, the other still being hunted down by the Hax Wraiths. And the third one is also close to a white line. Rotting Riders are still holding on, but the Hax Wraiths and Felbets, Direwolves, they are all piling in, trying to just pin it down so that the Shaptis can start firing at them. While the Forsaken front line just suffered pretty hard. Not sure from what. Arcan the Black didn't even bother using the... Yeah, didn't even really bother using Purple Sun, I don't... Wait, no, he probably did use Purple Sun. I'm not entirely sure. If he used Purple Sun, he probably would have had kills. But yeah, the Hax Wraiths managed to do work here. Giving the Tomb Kings a great melee armor-piercing option with a lot of speed as well. Running down those Forsaken and Ushapti just shooting at whatever they can get their hands on, specifically those Rotting Riders, really weakening them from afar, while the front line crit goals, they didn't do a whole lot of damage on impact, but because the Hax Wraiths dealt with the pushback, the Forsaken, they're able to just keep chasing, I suppose, and keep killing. But yeah, that is it for this one, and it seems like those campaign-only units are definitely doing work for the Tomb Kings. While I would say the Murder Horsemen throwing axes was being used a bit recklessly, all 3 units piling onto a single Ushapti really just opens them up to like a mobility rear charge. It doesn't even have to be Hax Wraiths, it can be something like a Skeleton Horseman, and that will give them the advantage in the fight. And anyways, we are moving on to the next round. So let's not let our opponent wait too long here. I'm gonna quickly just move the replay into the folder, and then we're good to go. Wait, hold on. We have an opponent yet? Yes, we do. Spotify. Alright, Spotify, it's you and me then. Then I looked away for 2 seconds to get next round lobby started, and battle was over. Oh. Tomb Kings build, but those both Shapti look kind of desperate for more frontline, for sure. But Forsaken and Burning Head would chill through the Skellies very quickly anyway. Yeah, seems like the Hax Wraiths have been a pretty good call. Alongside with Shapti soften some of them front lines as well. Alright, let me just quickly host a lobby so that my opponent can join. Wednesday faction walls, we are on the Prague map. Going to Islev. And I think that's the... Alright. Vampire counts round 2. Maybe I'll just cut those Vargeist and figure out something else for the anti-armor component of the army. Because this is not working. God damn it. Yeah. Okay, we're fighting Beastmen now, so, I mean, we're still going with Necrog Vampire Lord. I'm intending to use it for the entire game. Yeah, let's bring a zombie dragon. Wait, not Hellsteed, and let's bring some Hax Wraith this time. Yeah, unless they bring Tangor or is Dantigors, then otherwise they should be okay. And then a couple more Blood Knights, and then we're out of money. All right, let's go Rohirrim this time and see what happens. I think I can bring 3 Hex Raves, maybe 4 even. 3 Hex Raves, right? I think. And 1 Blood Knight with lances, and then yeah, let's just go. Oh shit! Ran out of money. All right, no zombies then. As in 1 less zombies. Vampire counts. Yeah, I can bring 3 each, so it should be fine. These are some expensive mobility, and I need to make sure they count. I just gave up on the Vargeist route, man. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't. I don't have the micro for them, and I look away for 2 seconds and they would just die. So yeah, I'd rather just not use them at this point. We can probably get, yeah. Let's get a Dark Pack, some Blood Knights, and do we want the regular ones or the anti-large ones? Because the regular ones are tankier. Let's just get the regular ones, actually. Yeah, they're less good at, like, dealing... Alright, cut 1 Dark Wolf and just bring the regular ones again. I feel like... No, sometimes I feel like the Sword and Board ones perform better, almost. But it might just be me thinking things. Yeah. Anyways, like they're better in anti-infantry, but like, yeah, if I want something anti-large to deal with like Minos and stuff, I'll probably have to go for the anti-large ones. Wait, did I bring spells on the Necrotic Lord? Oh fuck! I forgot to select spells on the guy. Why did I even bring the guy? What the He's just... I forgot. Oh god, no! I'm gonna ask my opponent if he's okay to just restart the match. Like, I know this feels a bit stupid, and yeah, yeah, this feels stupid as hell, but I forgot my spells on the Necrotic Lord. Why the fuck if I'm even playing the game at that point, right? Anyways, I'm gonna bring... fuck. I'll just not bring one of the Hex Rays and play a few 100 gold short at that point. Bring the same spell kit, and I'll play with like 1,000 less gold, because I fucked up. And I kind of saw my opponent's army, which I definitely shouldn't have. So yeah, I'll just play with 1,000 gold less, and yeah. That's worse than having all the spells. Yeah. I'll play with 1,000 less gold just because I fucked it up, and I'll put myself on a voluntary handicap. Because like I also saw a bit of that army build, as we jumped out of the battle map. So I know what they're gonna bring, and I know I was intending to bring those spells anyways, but that still doesn't. I think that still isn't exactly fair. So I'm just gonna cut myself on like 1,000 gold and fight it out. If we lose, we lose, whatever. But yeah, at least we make it kind of fair. Oh, whatever. It's more. I don't think my opponent really care. But yeah, I'm just gonna do what I think it's right. Whatever. All right. Let's see. Right. Let's just bring our. We have a lot of infantry there, and I don't think we really need to give that, like, use that kind of formation. Anyways, let's just concentrate our mobility on one thing. You could use that 1,000 gold. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't really. It doesn't. It's just 1,000 gold. It's fine. Like I know you're gonna bring besticles, and I don't feel. I don't think it's. Personally, it's just a personal thing. Yeah. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's just get it going. I mean, if I know my opponent is bringing, maybe they have changed the build. I don't know. Let's just go. Yeah, maybe they have changed the army build, but whatever. I don't really mind. Let's just go. Yeah, I know they're bringing besticles, and I still willing, knowingly take Purple Sun is yeah, well, you know. I don't. Yeah. Well, let's not dwell on it for too long. Let's get this battle ready. Oh no! Oh wait, that's just an incarnate elemental of a beast. We're not looking at stuff like. Okay, cool, cool. Oh wait, that's gonna be rough for my axe race. At least we're not seeing light mobility, I guess. Or we're just gonna go and nuke those festivals with Alright, let's just get ready. Cast those Haxrays on the in line and start nuking some of these festivals. Alright, let's pull back a bit because our Haxrays are kind of dying.
Time to feast.
Oh fuck, these are. Oh shit, wait, what? They're slaughtering those Blood Knights. I mean, those are great weapon minos, so that's expected and stuff, but still. Holy shit, that's a lot of damage. Alright, let's just heal these guys a bit. And Hexarch, you might want to get out of there. Alright, so let's cycle charge in some more cavalry a bit. And maybe we can stabilize them a bit and start running them down. Alright, let's pull them back. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what to do other than just cycle charge at this point. Alright, yeah, let's get our Haxrays over and start doing some AP damage to those bestigals. And oh shit. These Blood Knights just got mulched in the fight there. Alright, keep these guys healing. Wait, why are they? Wait, something's burning them. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Taurus! I forgot Taurus does fire damage. Holy shit. Alright, that makes a lot of sense. Cutting down my healing by half and also yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, how do I kill this incarnate elemental of these? Alright, I guess it's just for leeching time. Alright, you guys just start the hunger healing, please. Alright, the minos are dealt with. The problem is this is infantry and this incarnate elemental of beast. Okay, let's kill the infantry first, I guess. And Taurus as well. Taurus is a big problem too. I don't have a lot of good answers for that. Face them down. Alright, pull them back a bit. go and slam on those guys in the back or something. Alright, these guys are gonna die anyway, so might as well just send them into a disrupt the enemy infantry. And you guys try to get a bit of a rear charge. Wait, oh, damn it. That's annoying. Can't get a clean rear charge because some of them are inundated with the enemy. Alright, let's just try and come over here and park them down a bit. Alright, they're dealt with. We can just pick them off one by one. We still have some infantry support nearby, and they can just keep grinding down, getting grind down by the vesticles. Right, let's pull back a bit.
Swiftly! Time to feast! With haste! Swiftly!
Right, spirit leeching time. I don't have a lot of answers for this thing. Ow! That hurts a lot! That hurts a lot! It takes so much... It does so much damage with a slap! And also, yeah, Taurus doesn't help too. Holy shit, that's a lot of damage. Eh. Oh well. I don't think that 1,000 gold will have do us much justice here, honestly. So, especially we don't have a lot of answers for these big single entities. Maybe I need a double Vargolf build next time. Okay, next time, don't bring Var guys, bring a double Vargolf build. That's probably the better bet against Beastmen. Or yeah, a very hardy build with the front line there. Unless I really use all my magic onto on the purple sun, it's really hard for me to kill them. And also I misjudged one of the infantry. It's actually a Pestigore, not a Bestigore. And I threw my Hex Wraiths in and they just got stuck there because of the Tears of Nurgle. And they took a lot of damage while trying to pull themselves out. But yeah, the Blood Knights did well. Hex Wraiths did okay. The problem is just that I didn't have enough to kill the infantry. And that was fun too, yeah. And not really infantry. The infantry isn't really the biggest problem. The biggest problem are the single entities here. I might need a double Vargolf build and just cut one of the Blood Knights as well. That was a fun one for sure. I'm glad my opponent didn't bring a Bloodbrood Behemoth or Gorgon. I don't think you need spells, need more melee. Yeah, for sure. It's just Vampire Counts doesn't have a lot of good melee options. If I go Grave Gods, then they are just gonna get kited to death by like Minos. And if I go Mortis Engine, they're gonna get shot to death. There's always a possibility of it getting shot to death by Angor Raiders and throwing axes. So I don't feel like bringing either of those. And at that point, there's not a lot of melee options left. I might actually need double Vargolf. That might have to be... Like, if I take out some of the units and go double Vargolf and then just hit the guy on the zombie dragon, maybe this will work? Maybe? Just get another zombie, another scaly, and then I still have 1,000 gold for stuff like Black Knights with lances. Maybe that would have worked better. But I would like to get a chill guys just to chase down cavalry though. So well, I can use the Dire Pack for to the same end. Either ways, that is it for this one there. My opponent is victorious. And yeah, I think that is gonna be round 3 soon. Alright, hold on. Let me just refresh. Yeah, it's gonna be round 3. as challenge load up the brackets. And we gotta buy rounds, so somebody needs to give me a... It would be great somebody can give me a lobby code. Alright, while we are waiting, I'm gonna go and quickly grab a snack, and then I'll be back in a minute. Oh, actually, I need to wait to see if... okay, cool. Looks like Bahrain have a spec slot open, so I'm just gonna join his. And while we wait for the players to set up their armies, I'm just gonna quickly grab a snack, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back, and let's see. Looks like Bahrain is ready. Milky Way is still picking their army. And yeah. Chaosdorf versus Skaven. I don't suppose Chaosdorf would try the artillery route. Because as we know, Chaosdorf sucks at artillery fights. They just don't have the kind of cannon unit that can duel other cannon units on a long-range basis. So, yeah. Are we seeing like a traditional monster rush, or will we see like a full Vanguard sneaky git deployment? We shall see. It would be funny to see like a Vanguard Chaosdorf build. Not that they have a lot of units that can do that. But that would be funny. Again, that would be funny. But yeah. Looks like Milky Way is also almost done. And we're good to go. What's your snack? Oh, it's Biscoff biscuits. Like this, a cinnamony biscuit thingy. I never knew about it until I come to the UK, and it's like, oh, this is. I really like cinnamon, so this actually tastes really nice. Oh right, I never kite or use caster, so if you want, you can make a build just for me. I forgot about that part. I was just playing it like a normal, normal build. But yeah. Maybe I can also bring next time. I'll go no magic and just go toe to toe against you. If we face off again. Who thought a VZ series would be so fun? Skaven secret weapon versus dwarves and good horrors. Maybe. Actually, let's just look at the build here. Yeah, we can see a lot of Skaven artillery and weapons teams. High tech. No chocolate chips in Biscoff. Yeah. There is no chocolate chips. Like, I get chocolate is nice and all, but personally, I'm not the bit. It's like I don't hate chocolate. I like chocolate, but I don't love chocolate like everyone else does. I think the first time I tried chocolate, that leaves like a very deep impression in my mind is like I tried dark chocolate, and that puts me off chocolate for like years in my childhood, and I stopped. I just don't like chocolate for a while, unless it's white chocolate, which technically isn't chocolate. But yeah. So yeah, chocolate isn't exactly like my thing. I like other types of sweet more. Anyways, let's stop talking about snacks for now. Let's check out the army builds here. The Chaos Dwarves is going for a lot of hobgoblins and orc laborers. I think it gets mixed in with orc laborers and some goblin laborers. Wait, did they actually brought artillery? Now the magma cannon and the hell cannon should do well against the weapons teams. The problem is that stuff like warp lightning cannons and AK will absolutely snipe them out in no time. So that's definitely something they have to be careful about. There are multiple Kadai 5 on the field as well. The monster infantry rush is definitely a good call against the Skaven, who doesn't have a lot of good tools to stop those. There are also a couple Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders riding around, ready to jump on the enemy backline. For the wait, hold on, leading the army is Saucer Prophet of Fire with Burning Head and Cascading Fire Cloak. On the other side, for the Skavens, the front line of Plague Monks, Clan Rats, Warp Fire Flowers from Milky Way there, with Skaven Slave Spears guarding a core of weapons teams as well. Rattling Guns, a Kick Zap Sap, and some more Red Ogres. Oh, there's a Mutant Red Ogre, the Morsketter's Hellion. So there, it comes packing some single entity power in case they need to fight some flying cows. Already you can see the Warp Lightning Cannon is already doing substantial damage to that poor Magma Cannon. Magma Cannon is firing back, trying to deal with some of these weapons teams, and the explosion damage plus the vortex is actually doing some good work in return to those rattling guns. The problem is, can the Magma Cannon survive long enough to make itself pay? I don't think that is gonna be the case here. Hellcannons continue to hammer those rattling guns though. Oh, and one thing about the Magma Cannon, it can't even do the thing where traditional artillery crew can do, which is like abandon the artillery model and just run the hell away. They definitely cannot do that, so that is a bit of a rough case for them. Anyways, looks like, oh, there are two Magma Cannons. So a second Magma Cannon is firing while the first Magma Cannon is getting eliminated. And the Hell Cannon is also hammering on those rattling guns there. So the Magma Cannon, one problem about the Magma Cannon, it doesn't have the best accuracy. So it's constantly missing shots. This Magma Cannon came back. But now the other Magma Cannon is under the fire of Ikik Zap Zap. So some of these rattling guns are pretty much hammered down. Oh, these Hobgoblin Sneaky Gets are coming in, but they're also running into rattling gun range and flamethrower range, and oh well, they're infantry after all, so a lot of shots are actually missing on them. Burning Head was intended on the enemy front line, but someone else managed to hit the enemy back line as well, burning some of those rattling guns, but not doing a whole lot. while the front line, the sneaky gits, are absolutely getting burned down to cinders, as the warfire throwers are unleashing a deadly volley upon them. But there are more hobgoblins and laborers coming in. Ooh, next up it's Kadai 5-1, who is closing in the distance but falling victim to the Rattling guns. They need to just keep rushing down, beeline straight into the enemy front line and start smashing it down their units. The longer they spend just wandering around, the more damage they take from Rattling guns. Like, if they quickly just charge into the warfire throwers, they can start pushing into the back line and even shut down those Rattling guns. Anyway, some of the magma cannon that returned unleashed one more volley and actually did some really good damage on the Rattling guns. While the frontline wise, the laborers and hobgoblin sneaky gits actually managed to make some really good headway among the Skaven slaves, pushing back the enemy infantry protection and also smashing apart the Rattling guns with those magma cannon and hell cannon shots, and driving back the enemy defenses and yeah, intruding into the back line. Rattling guns are all out of commission now. These Kadai 5-1 could have entered the fight with a bit more HP, but at least they're still fighting and managed to break off the Rattling guns. And oh, I forgot about, it was Queen Caretaker leading the army. Okay, I did not expect that one. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Well, no questions asked. He is absolutely wrecking that Force Sorcerer Prophet of Fire in melee combat, while the Kadai 5-1 managed to surround and beat down the Morskita's Hellion, as the Morskita's Hellion is significantly outnumbered. So yeah, the Skavens are going after the enemy character, trying to get a Lord Snipe and get a bit of an upper hand here, as their box is mostly broken off. Yeah, all their weapons teams have been chased back. They are returning though, so they might be able to provide a second wave of fire support here. But the Kixapsa is shut down, so the Hell Cannon and one more Magma Cannon is free to just fire now, as long as those Kixapsa are still occupied in melee combat. So yeah, it is prime time for the Hell Cannon to unleash all the deadly volleys upon enemy troops. Look at the poor Kixapsa, surrounded by enemies and also blasted by the Hell Cannon. The Hell Cannon is completely healthy, not even touched at all, as the Magma Cannons do have quite a bit of HP for those Kixapsa to work through, after all. Anyways, it looks like the Lord is dead for the Chaos Dwarves. And the Skavens will have an upper hand from here on, having slightly more leadership than their opponents, who are mostly hobgoblins and goblins and laborers, who doesn't have the most leadership after all. The Kadai 5-1 are unbreakable, but that's only when there's over 25% HP. So the Rattling guns are rejoining the fight, and that should put them into yep, less than 25% territory. And you can see they're starting to waver, crumble, and demonic instability shall take them down. And with that, most of the army of the Chaos Dwarf is flashing. With their, yeah, that's just gonna be army losses, other than the Hell Cannon, who is still standing still and firing. Yeah, a lot of money has been spent on the artillery, but unfortunately that did not pay off. They did some really good damage against the Rattling guns and all, but still, in case I took them out, and the rather cheap front line was not able to withstand the enemy bombardment of Rattling guns, and warp flame throwers probably need more. Perhaps they probably need more mobility in this case, or just need a flying cow really to just walk through. Oh wait, no. You can't really go with a flying cow because a Warlock Engineer would most likely have a Warp Storm. Yeah. It's most likely just to lock them down with a Howling Warp Gale. Yeah. But yeah, the Kadai 5-1, some of them lingered a little bit too long in the front line and just exposed themselves to too much Rattling gun fire and got peppered down. But otherwise, seems like the Hell Cannon did okay. Didn't earn back its value though. It does take quite a long while to reload. Yeah, most of the front line just kind of faltered after they broke the first layer defense of the Skavens. The Skaven came back and started shooting them, while these melee infantry can't really brave the rattling fire and the flamethrower fire to start pushing against the enemy ranged troops. The Red Ogres also protected the back line, beat back the enemy Wolf Raiders. But yeah, most of the work were done by the Rattling Gun. One Rattling Gun, the other two not so much. And the Ekig Zap Zap. And Quick Hat Taker, of course, taking out the Saucer Prophet of Fire is a very key moment there. Just applying mass leadership debuffs to the Chaos Dwarves, forcing them to start running earlier than they should. What matchups and tactics are good for Cathay Bandits of the Silver Road RR? I guess you can... What Cathay units have fire damage? I don't usually play Cathay, so I probably wouldn't be like the prime... the best person to ask, but I guess Nangal Grenadiers and Grace of Kuei-Yin both works here. Or Fire Rain Rockets. They do have fire damage. And cannons. Grand Cannons. That's a lot of fire damage from Grand Cathay, honestly. But yeah, that is it for this round. Let's just grab those replays, and I think we still have a couple more battles in progress. So we are just gonna cast some games first while we are waiting. Yeah, we still have a couple of games going, so yeah, let's just check out some of the replays. One of the replays. I don't think we have enough time for some. Hold on. We've watched that, we played that ourselves. And let's see, we've watched that. So let's just watch this one, Greenskins versus Vampire Counts. Greenskins with not a whole lot of deck. Normally I would expect to see more Daka on the Greenskin side, like mass Orc Air Boys plus Rusty Air, but this time Ruglugs Armored Orcs and the Rusty Airs, a few Orc Boys, and a front line of Gobbles, 3 Spears, 2 regular ones, 2 Orc Boys Spears. Oh shit. We have round 4. We have round 4. Never mind. We are quitting this replay. Let's just go and watch. Let's just go and watch the. Yeah, let's just go and watch the replays now. Let's just go and fight our next opponent. Actually, Ludero playing as Slanesh. Alright. Let's get a multiplayer battle setup. The Cathay Peasant Archer RR is a hybrid melee range that's also stealth. The bandits. Don't send them into melee. It's not worth it. You want to use all their melee, their missiles first, before letting them die in melee. It's not worth it. It's the melee stats on like a range unit exist only for protecting them from stuff like hounds and zombies. Don't think about them as a melee unit. Yeah. Unless it's something like miners, then it might work. Since they are going into melee anyways after their limited missiles have been expended. Anyways, we are fighting Slanesh, so we are the Vampire Counts. I have no idea how this matchup will play actually. We'll just have to bring a zombie dragon regardless. Invocation of the Heck, Curse of Undeath, we'll take that. And a couple of Vargulf, since they don't really have much anti-large on the Slaanesh end. Skellies, and if they have decided to go Chosen, we have Breath Attack and Purple Sun. And if they go Mobility Spam, we'll just have to duke it out with those Vargulf and Blood Knights. And maybe some that and that maybe? Ah, well, whatever. That will have to do, honestly. Wait, hold on. I need 10 more gold to get the hunger. I wouldn't have any passive heals otherwise. I might actually just cancel life leeching. It's great, but I'm not spamming enough Spirit Leech to benefit from it. So I'm just gonna do that. And take that one out as well. And just get Dark Protection to survive a little bit longer. Alright, we're good. We're good to go. Oh wait, we're in practice. That doesn't make sense. Let me just check what the map is. Gorgazon. Shouldn't make a big difference in like my opponent's tactics or anything, but I'll just yeah. I'll just leave it like that now. Yeah. Okay, my opponent probably is aware of the map change anyway, so it should be fine. Needed to play more conservative with the Wolf Raiders. Got them killed off for no reason. Yeah, maybe they engage a little bit too early when the Red Ogres are still very much sitting at the back, guarding the rear. Of course, I'm just here like kind of watching it from like a with God's eye view, right? But in practice, I probably would mess it up like you do anyway. So, yeah. All right, spears. I mean, we only have some pretty chaffy infantry, and double Vargulf and will be our only thing to rely on in case we need to fight single entities, which most likely will be the case. And Purple Sun of Ceruz to deal with possible Chosens and mobility wise. Blood Knights, you guys have to do a lot of carrying here. With the Black Knights expecting to die from the sheer amount of Slaanesh cavalry. One problem I am worried about is the Slaanesh skirmishers, which I don't have a lot of answers for. Other than the Dire Pack, so yeah, probably have to just keep the Dire Pack in the center of the blob. Alright, let's group up our troops a bit there. And these are my anti-skirmisher contingent, and these are just skellies. Alright, good luck, have fun to my opponent. Let's go. Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot of skirmishers. I don't really have a good answer about those. Yeah, Black Knights, can you just face tank those for me? Thank you. And I do have immune to flanking, so that's good news, I guess. Alright, while they're trying to pull out of there, I guess. Go back.
Swiftly. Strike them. Attack.
Alright, can the Blood Knights make it there in time? We can catch a few of them, I guess. Alright, hold on. Start pulling back some of our troops. And give them a bit of a taste of that purple son of Zeus! Let's go! Alright, you guys, can you pull back a bit there? Give them the taste of the purple sun! Yeah, boy. Alright, cool. Voldemort Marauders. Alright, you guys jump on those, I guess. You get a charge on that? No, you can't. Alright, cool. Pull back.
With haste.
These are just devoted Marauders, so let's just prep attack them from afar. Not much to do about them. You know, Marauders, we can just go there. It's fine.
Give them death.
Alright, heal them because I left them to die over there. Let's send those start pack over. Keep them healing. Alright, Elder Ping, pile onto the Health Riders while you're at it. Because I messed up some of the microling there. Start picking them off one by one. I can't really do much else regarding the skirmishers, so I'll just have to fight them. And hope for the best here. The mobility are getting pretty messed up. Alright, one of the Seekers are getting torn down. Great news for me. Pull them back, and then my blow-off Blood Knights can come over and start screwing them up. Alright, let's just hammer them from behind, maybe? Yeah, let's go and cover that.
Yes, blood.
Right, fight the Vargolf and
For blood, king. We hunger with haste.
oh well, our mobility are getting screwed pretty badly. It's not great, and
Swiftly.
their mobility is busy walking around. Alright, cool. We just have to heal the Blood Knights, I guess. Okay, we're holding the ground. We're holding our ground.
Rip their souls out.
But we need to actually make progress here instead of just holding. Their javelins are running low on ammo. Good news, I guess. Let's squeeze out a bit more magic for ourselves.
Blood knight. Swiftly. With haste. Swiftly. With haste. Vampire Lord.
Okay, their cavalry is squeezing a little bit too close, which means our unit here is having a good time.
With haste.
Alright, where is... oh, one of our Blood Knights is done for. The other is still holding. Okay, that's, I guess, good news. Kind of. Oh, I guess I'll just have to keep spamming Spirit Leeches, I guess. While we're at it.
Mortals quail.
Can't use the Purple Sun.
Swiftly. Fear us.
Right, as long as we can force them run out of Javis, our Vargolf can probably get the hang of this. But that's a lot of Javis that we have to lure out of. So that's a problem. Okay, we are silent for now. Margolf, I need you to give Azazel a bit of a good smack. We also didn't bring the hunger, which is a oh wait, we did bring the hunger, okay, fine. Can smash Azazel a bit.
With haste, swiftly.
Damage resistance buff on. Keep smacking Azazel on the ground. And bully him. Alright, cool. I don't think we can. Alright, Azazel is crumbling, so we probably can. We probably have a good chance with this. Yep, Azazel go down, and yeah. We have to deal with this with a single entity spam, honestly. Ah, well. That was a close one. That was a close one. But yeah, in the end, it's the passive healing coming in pretty clutch for us. The Blood Knights, we held them rather tight to the back line. The Black Knights died pretty soon, but they kind of served as a bait for a great Purple Son of Zerus. That worked out really well for us, which nuked 2 of their cavalry. I'm not sure if it's the. I think it's just 2 Hellstriders, but even still, that's some pretty good value, all things considered. And those Seeker Chariots. I'm sure my opponent is just trolling a bit to bring these guys, and as expected, they did absolutely horribly. Charged in, and immediately I sent a single Vargolf over to jump them, and they just got smashed. They don't really have a target for Slanesh. Warriors Chosen have armor. You want bonus versus large against any mobility, and you can run over demons with the Lance variant. Yeah, which is why I brought the Lance Blood Knights, because I know I need their anti-large against stuff like Seekers and Hellstriders, and they managed to earn back some pretty good value here. And more importantly, their armor, shield, and occasionally the Banner of Bloodkeep does protect them from some of the javelin shots. The javelin did some damage, but not enough to carry the game. While I managed to bully Azazel with my abundance of single entities here, 2 Vargolf plus a Necroc Vampire Lord. The one single Purple Sun did really well, and then breath attacks. Like, I've got the Purple Sun, I've got the breath attacks. I can deal with anything infantry. It's the cavalry that screws me over, but a Purple Sun dealt with like a good chunk of them, so that is good news for me. And then the Blood Knights dealt with the rest, pretty much. And yeah, the Dark Pack did well as well. Honestly, I don't think the Sword and Board variants have any use case. They are like a tanky cavalry, but in our meta, the tanky cavalry is not exactly a good thing here. Like, in campaign, it makes sense. But in multiplayer, it doesn't really work. Because your biggest threat is always other cavalry. And I guess I like the Sword and Board. Sometimes the Sword and Board, the Sword and Shield Blood Knights do really well even against cavalry. If they get a head-on charge against Koan Spear Riders, they can get some good damage done as well. I guess probably because they have better stats. But yeah. Other than that, they're not like a specialized cavalry. They are more a generalist melee grind cavalry type, which honestly is not as good. But I feel like as if they have like a better performance in a lot of situation. But yeah, that was a good game. That was a good game. At least we got a win in the end. So that was good. That was pretty close too. And yeah, we shall see who wins the tourney. But right now, we still have, yeah, there's still 2 more games in progress. So we are gonna go and check out the replay that we have to cut short. And now we restart this. Greenskins versus Vampire Coast. And I'm surprised Kurio isn't bringing more Daka, because I normally I would expect just seeing more Orc Arrow Boys to keep shooting down the gun lines and whatnot. But yeah, Rusty Arrows, Roglocks, Armored Orcs, a front line of Gobbles and Orc Boys, 3 Spear Gobbles, 2 regular Gobbles, 3 Orc Boys, 2 Spear Orc Boys, and the 8 Pig Loonies. Regiment of Renowned Fanatics, Fanatic Gobbles. Other than that, Orc Boar Boys, quite a few of them actually, and Broken Tussle Regiment of Renown, Orc Boar Boy Biggins, Morgoth's Managing Marauders for their armor-piercing, skirmishing fire, and also Death Creepers. They're regenerating Spider Riders. Spider Rider Archers, actually, yeah. The 8 Pig Loonies, as we've covered before, and a leadership of Goblin Great Shaman, ready to bully some zombies with its enormous size. And on that, Ragnarok Spider. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast front line of zombie deckhand mobs, backed up by some gun lines here. These are pistol mobs. A couple of handguns and a few more pistol mobs scattered around. Backed up by even more handgun mobs, yeah, and some zombie pirate deckhand mob with polearms, a mortar unit. Oh, okay, yeah, that actually makes it pretty good against error lines due to the mortar explosion. So not bringing that many archers might be a good call, but we shall see what happens here. Animated Hulks on the flanks, and there's also the Lamprey's Revenge, pretty much a staple as long as you take the Vampire Coast, because these guys are so tanky and really good in doing damage with their double blunderbuss on the back. So yeah, blunderbuss? Hand cannons more like, yeah. So, yeah, they do have some really good damage, even in melee. And Shade Wave Gunners, Deck Gunners, Regiment Renowned with explosive missiles. Yeah, that is it for army builds here. Let's get the battle rolling. With the lack of Carronade, this Vampire Coast build does not have a lot of long-range threat against the Ragnarok Spider. So the Ragnarok Spider can move closer. Oh, here's a Vindictive Glare coming after those. Oh, yeah, a lot of good damage against the Shade Wave Gunners there, immediately forcing an Invocation of Nehek to try and heal these guys back up, as they are a very expensive unit of a very important DPS to nuke down the enemy infantry lines. Already they're opening fire at Gobble with spears. I guess that was the only thing in range, but they might want to start shooting at the Orc Boys or even the Rusty Airs. Well, they can't see the Rusty Airs. So Raglocks Armored Orcs, when they walk into range, would be a good idea. Anyways, the Orc Mobility are moving up on the flanks, and yeah. But overall, the Vampire Coast are just holding back here, chilling and waiting for the opponent to come to them as they unleash volley after volley of missiles onto the enemy. But the Gobble Artillery strikes again. A second cast of Vindictive Glare, putting these Shade Wave Gunners down to half health. Oh, these Vindictive Glare are very nasty indeed. Pretty much like a long-range magical artillery. Zombie Summon from Count Noctilus, disrupting those Roglocks Armored Orcs. I almost feel like, no, well, they can't see. Actually, they can't see the Rustiers, so can't really say anything. Wait, no, the Rustiers are shooting, so you can see them now. Oh yeah, now this is a good targeting priority. Launching those volley shots onto the Rusty Airs, you can see how quickly they go down to those explosive long-range guns. But at the same time, the Goblin Grey Shaman, the third cast of Vindictive Glare, a very cheap spell and also low cooldown, making it really good at just spamming onto ethereal units like the Shade Wave Gunners. Ooh, a deadly Castle of Shades, Wraith Storm, blasting down these Orc Boar Boys, are being pinned down by the animated Hulks. On the other side, Orc Boys and Goblins are pushing in as well, but kind of being tied down by the pistol mobs. The handguns will try to retreat, but there are more of the greenskin mobility running through. Death Creepers took a bunch of damage. Is it from the handguns or? Not sure what they took damage from. Was it the handguns or is it? It might be the Loons of the Eight Peaks friendly fire. It might be Loons of Eight Peaks friendly fire, because I don't see anything that can burst down those light cavalry so fast. So I assume that's the case. Anyways, Shade Gunners. Yeah, the Shade Gunners are secured right now. The problem really is the Goblin Great Shaman still roaming around, dropping those vindictive glares. The Count Noctilus is surprisingly low in health. It looks like there is a Pit of Shades. Yep, Pit of Shades onto the Orc Boys, who are stacked up together and quickly nuking them down. Count Noctilus is running low on health. Another vindictive glare, once again going after the Shade Wraith Gunners, as the backline of the Vampire Coast is falling apart quite badly. Oh, okay. The Morgos Magic Marauders charging head-on into the handgunners did not bode well for them, as they are just running into a firing range. Lamprey's Revenge beat back one unit of Orc 4 boys, and now trying to beat back the second unit, but that's a lot of armor-piercing units they have to fight through, so they themselves are taking quite a bit of damage as well. Shade Wraith Gunner still holding, barely though. Still holding, but barely. And one more Vindictive Glare might be able to finish them off. More Orcs are pushing in, just trying to threaten those zombie gun lines in melee. Some of them are taking hits from the from the Shade Wraith Gunners. This might be a good time for another Vindictive Glare. Goblin Spears are just dragging down those zombie pirate gunnery mobs, as they are not exactly the best melee unit in the world. And yeah, Death Creepers, they took some damage, but they're gonna be generating them back up, so not much of a big deal for them. The Lamprey's Revenge managed to beat back a second unit of Orc Boys and are constantly regenerating with some infantry support from the deckhand mobs, while Count Noctilus tying down enemy infantry in the front and occupying the attention of the Goblin Great Shaman. But the Goblin Great Shaman on an Ragnarok Spider is a powerful melee threat, and it's just munching down Count Noctilus. Count Noctilus goes down, and that shall be army losses there. GG to both players, and it seems like the green skins managed to take a win out with that Vindictive Glare spam, shutting down the enemy Shade Wraith Gunners. Ooh, okay, I think the whole finals has been concluded with a winner. I'm not gonna announce it on stream yet, but I might make an announcement in the Discord first. But yeah, first of all, let's check out the damage value here. The Orc Cavalry managed to fend off the enemy mobility first. Oh, I didn't even really pay attention to the Morgos Night Terrors. But yeah. The Vindictive Glare was a really good call in just spamming that spell and shutting down the Shade Wraith Gunners. I really like that use. The handguns are lacking in performance. They have a really strict line of sight requirement. And the greenskins simply have more mobility to just walk around their range and get to the backline, get through all these all these chaff units and get to the backline to shut down the enemy missiles. So yeah, Count Noctilus, yeah, he wasn't on his Necrofax well, actually, let's check the Mortar. The Mortar didn't do a whole lot of damage, as there were just not a lot of archers for them to shut down. And Lamprey's Revenge held on. They are basically the toughest unit of the Vampire Coast, but unfortunately the rest of the army didn't really hold out. But there's too much mobility to get around the greenskin, get around the Vampire Coast defenses and shut down those gunnery handguns, who fail to do the damage and earn back their worth, while the mobility here from the greenskins did quite well, swarming the enemy backline. And yeah, great value from the Goblin Great Shaman as well, using its magnificent and also nasty Ragnarok Spider to bully Count Noctilus on foot. Yeah. GG to both players here, and let's see, let me just make an announcement on the Discord about the winner. So give me a couple minutes. Alright, so let me just quickly go back in. I want to see how those Spider Riders, the Death Creepers, took so much damage at the start there. But yeah, the gunline simply didn't have a lot of good targets to shoot at. Like, everything else on the other side is infantry, and the mobility are going around the flank, which takes quite a bit of time for those handguns to turn around and fire at. But yeah, just want to check how those Death Creepers took so much damage at the start. Like, half their damage, half their HP was basically gone as they charged into the handgun lines. Well, the Shade Wraith Gunners took a lot of damage from the Vindictive Glare spam. They probably should have just switched over. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rylock's Armored Orcs is a good target for sure. Aren't that? Yeah. They do full armor piercing damage. So I thought they would do a bit better against Rylock's Armored Orcs, but looks like the Armored Orcs just have a lot of HP, I guess. Okay. Death Creepers are standing around, not... Oh, that was a devastating Wraith Storm, actually. But yeah, they're just not doing a whole lot. Pistol mobs didn't get to do much, as they just immediately get dragged into melee. Oh, some handguns also got caught by the Orc Boys, too. Oh, they just took a lot of damage on their way charging in by the handguns. Okay. I underestimated the damage output of the handguns, I guess. Especially at point-blank range like that. They just eat a bunch of volleys to the face, that's about it. Alright, cool. Alright, let me just download the rest of the replays today. Let's see, hold on. And then we should be good for we should be good for casting the rest of everything else for the night. Okay, yeah, we have quite a bit of replays today, so let's speed things up a bit. I'm sure there's like duplicate replays in here somewhere, but we'll deal with them when we get to them. But yeah, right now let's start casting Beastmen versus Lizardmen up next, and Beastmen with a General Spotify playing as the Beastmen. They are not gonna bring any magic today. General Spotify going once again with an Angry Cow, not Taurox though, Dumbo, supported by a Gorbo. No caster at all, leading the army with 2 Angry Cows, and they're supported by 4 Goreherds, both everyone with dual weapons, 4 Corn Gores, and 1 Goroxman Reapers. So a lot of anti-infantry, and then a lot of anti-large infantry. And a couple more anti-large Minotaurs with great weapons as well to challenge the Lizardmen Dinos. There's also some Chaos Warhounds providing a bit of mobility to chase down routed units and whatnot. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, a front line of Saurus Warriors ready to just duke it out against the Beastmen, plus a single Star Chamber Guardian protecting Lord Mazdamundi. And Ripper Projectile Riders in the sky, 2 of them, and 2 more Chameleon Skinks on the flanks there. You can see the Ripper Projectile Riders already jumping on those 4 Beastmen Warhounds, and you can see how quickly they rip apart, no pun intended, those Chaos Warhounds. Yeah, well, pun absolutely intended, actually. Yeah, Razordawn Hunting Pack. Oh, Razordawn Hunting Pack, that would be interesting. Because they can do some really good burst damage if they can get the right target, like the Minotaurs. But there's not a whole lot of units to protect them right now. They might want to start shooting and try to do as much damage as possible before they eventually get caught in melee. But yeah, the Saurus will be forming a bit of a defensive perimeter here, trying to hold down the enemy Goreherds. And indeed, they're doing a lot of good damage here, as one of the Goreherds are trying to go charge against the Star Chamber Guardians. And they still have that attacking order nearby. So they're trying to force path their way through the Saurus Warriors here, exposing them to free melee attacks, and they're just getting smashed up while not doing anything in return to the Saurus infantry. Oh, is that chain lightning? What? No, no. Anyways, raised on the hunting packs. Expected they are already caught in a melee fight by all those Minotaurs there. Nothing to guard them, nothing to protect them from the enemy monster rush. Immediately they have been broken off, especially with the Doom Bull punching them in the face and dazing them with reduced melee defense. Yeah, Reaper Projectile Riders are trying to deliver some rear charges here and to eliminate the enemy front line. And they are indeed successful in killing some of these Gore Herds, but there are still a lot of Corn Gores on the field, and they will be soon wrapping around and trying to collapse on the enemy Saurus infantry. Plus all these Minos charging in as well from the rear, from the flanks, cutting down on these Saurus warriors with their giant axes. Corn Gores as well, rushing into the rear of the Skink Cores. Oh yeah, these Skink Cores are dead. A little bit of AoE spell from Lord Mazdamundi, trying to nuke down the enemy Gore Herds, but the Minos don't care. Bound Banishment and then a Ruination of Cities, doing some friendly fire to the Saurus warriors, but it might be worth it here just to do some additional damage to those Horseman Reapers. And another AoE spell, this time I think it's the Combat of Kazandora, but unfortunately instead it just hit a bunch of Star Chamber Guardians. Nuked down like half of their HP bar. Oh god, that is some devastating friendly fire. A big mistake there indeed. As most of the Gorksman Reapers have ran out of the spell zone, while the Star Chamber Guardians were in pursuit mode, so they are just trying to chase after the route-taking enemies and walking straight into the spell. And that was a lethal mistake here. They could have put up a much stronger fight, but right now they only have like down to 1/3 of their HP bar. They can do some good damage against the enemy Minos and all, but they are also a lot less durable now and will be fading faster, faltering a lot sooner on the battlefield. But yeah, I guess the Minos have their work cut out for them. The Star Chamber Guardians are unbreakable though, due to their eternal duty, being unbreakable if friendly Lord or Hero are nearby. And they're gonna fight shoulder to shoulder with Lord Mazdamundi, trying to fight to their death, I believe. So the Minos will have to duke it out with them and try to like, and the Beastmen will have to swarm them with sheer numbers. But overall, the Beastmen sheer numbers approach seems to be working. The Minos are getting stuck on the enemy front line for a little too long there, but they are chopping up Lord Mazdamundi with the help of the Doom Bull and the Gore Bull here. Reaper Projectile Riders are coming back and are gonna try and swarm these Corn Gores who have activated their Unbreakable and will be holding on for a short while more. And Lord Mazdamundi, surrounded by so many angry cows, he is going down, and he's going down fast. All that magic spent on the Combat of Kazandora means that he doesn't have a lot of HP. Oh, they didn't bring Apotheosis. Okay, that is a big problem because Mazdamundi has no healing at all. So all he can rely on is just those Star Chamber Guardians to protect him. But yeah, not having healing is rough. Lord Mazdamundi is on the verge of routing. More and more Lizardman resources are being dumped into the fray and just trying to protect him from the Gore Bulls, Minotaurs, and Doom Bull here. But Lord Mazdamundi might be going down, and if he dies, these Star Chamber Guardians will soon rout as well. If they lose their Lord support, and you can see they're immediately dropping in terms of leadership, and the Minos are still holding thanks to the Doom Bull still holding in this fight. Gore Bull though, I think he went down. Yeah, I think he died. Yeah, I mean, Lord Mazdamundi died, that's the most important thing, and the Doom Bull still fights on. But at the same time, the Beastmen, because they spent so much resources trying to grind down Lord Mazdamundi on top of these Star Chamber Guardians, they're now running out of resources themselves, leaving only Doom Bull on the field. So that is a big problem for the Beastmen right now. They don't have any answers to grind down the rest of the Saurus and the Star Chamber Guardians, and the Reaper Projectile Riders are chasing down all their routed resources. And finally, both sides they decided to just give up on the capture point entirely. Minotaurs got jumped by a bunch of Reaper Projectile Riders, but that bought a few seconds of time for the Doom Bull to just hop on over and try to smash down the Reaper Projectile Riders. And the Minotaurs somehow are still holding with their last two models and 300 AP left. Never mind, they're running now. And the Doom Bolt is all that's left on the Beastman's side. And I think that's going to be GG here. As the Doom Bolt will be surrounded and grind down. Oh, looks like he is still running around trying to get some Psycho Charging done. But yeah, with the Star Chamber Guardians and Ripper Projectile surrounding him, I don't see how he can fight his way out of this one. And that shall be victory to the children of the Old Ones, to the Lizardmen. Yeah, very brave once again, seeing General Spotify bringing no magic into every battle. Very nicely played from both sides, although I do think that General Spotify spent a little bit too much time with the Minos in the middle of a bunch of Star Chamber Guardians, and the Star Chamber Guardians, despite the friendly fire there, still managed to earn back a significant portion of their worth, if not actually earning back their worth. I think that's actually their worth. So yeah, they managed to make themselves worth it. Chameleon Skings were kiting since the Beastmen did not have any mobility this time, no skirmishing at all, just going full corn. Projectile Riders beat down the enemy infantry, since it is a target-rich environment for them. A lot of infantry. And surviving till the end. They're chasing their mounted units and surviving till the end to provide a little bit more mass and a monstrous presence to jump, to surround and beat down the Dome Bull as well. And the Saurus did well as well, just beating up those lightly armored Gore Herds, with the help of some rear charging from the Projectile Riders. On the other side, the Beastmen, the Gore Bull and Doom Bull did some good damage alongside those Minos, but unfortunately, if those Minos pick their engagements a bit wiser, I think Beastmen would have a slight advantage, solely due to that unfortunate cast of Comet of Kazandora. But yeah, they spent too much time trying to grind down Lord Mazdamundi, while those Star Chamber Guardians were just stabbing them in their knees. So that was not great. Let's see, Greenskin, Slanesh, Chaos Dwarf, multiple of them, Quarantine Kings, Warriors of Chaos Slanesh. Oh, these are some duplicate battles. Yep. Let me just delete them so that we don't confuse them and cast them multiple times. Same goes for this one. Yeah, I think these are everything we have today, which is like 5. Well, which is like 10 battles roughly. So yeah, next up we have Codex versus Incause. Vampire Coast versus Warriors of Chaos. Vampire Coast going with a melee-centric build. Not something you see every day, but I do welcome. It is indeed a welcoming sight. A front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, plus 3 more polearm deckhand mobs, 3 dev gods with dual weapons, and 3 more gun crabs. One of them, the Lamprey's Revenge. Count Noctilus leading the army. On foot, no Necrofax Colossus, just him. His halberd, his Pit of Shades, Invocation of the Hack, and Zombie Summons Rave Storm. On the other side, for the Warriors of Chaos, they are probably expecting an artillery box build, a bunch of Chaos Warhounds on the flanks, a front line of anti-infantry setup there. Forsaken with a bunch of Marauders of Slanesh, with Hell Scourge, Miragard supporting a called Hellbrass. It's similar to Sigvald, but for some reason just a lot weaker. But he does have anti-infantry and armor piercing. Leading the army is the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, with Searing Doom, which will be really good against Death Gods, and also Final Transmutation. Oh, Tormentor Sword as well to limit the movement of enemy mobility. Not sure what's the use of this one against the Vampire Coast, since they are not the most mobile faction, but we shall see. Chaos Warhounds already doing some cheeky psycho charging against the enemy infantry, while Knights of Immolation are just gonna fly over and try to dump their fire onto some of these Death Gods and do some damage, I suppose. Doing some pretty nice damage so far. Got some good work done. All the Forsaken will be rushing in and try to smash apart the enemy zombies. Knights of Immolation are charging into melee. They need to be in melee to start recharging their ability. So if they want to poop their fire once more, they need to start fighting something, and they are indeed doing exactly that. Oh, there are some dragon ogres on the flanks, ready to kill some monsters, and these gun crabs are definitely their optimal target. Forsaken and Marauders have no issue beating up the enemy zombies, but the problem are the Death Guard here, who are just buzzsawing their way through these Marauders of Slanesh in a matter of seconds, pretty much. While the Knights of Immolation here trying to find another target to engage. Oh, zombies will be a good target, but they're taking some damage. They have to be careful though. They're taking some damage from the gun crabs. Bit of shade onto the enemy front line. They're just blasting down some of the mirror guard. While the Death Guard retreat, trying to stay away from friendly fire. And Lamprey's Revenge plus the zombie deckhand mobs are more than enough to crush these poor Marauders here. While the Marauders, Hell Scourges, and Forsaken are beating up zombies. Dragon Ogres are also in the vicinity, forcing back those rotting Promethean gun crabs. And yeah, seems like the Death Guards are holding on just fine. As the melee rush of the Vampire Coats are definitely making some really good progress here, killing off the enemy's bunch of armored infantry. While the elites of the Warriors of Chaos are very limited in terms of numbers, so once they're occupied somewhere, they can't go anywhere else to commit to another fight and help out or anything. Like these Dragon Ogres, they've just been fighting this one rotting Promethean the whole time. Can't really finish them off with the enemy infantry support nearby as well, so they're just occupied right here on the other side, while the Lamprey's Revenge and the gun crabs over here are driving back the enemy Forsaken, driving back the enemy Hounds, and Rave Storm shutting a bunch of HP off from these Knights of Immolation as well. Did they manage to use another Searing Torment? I don't think so. They probably haven't even engaged long enough to get a second use yet. But yeah, you can see the Warriors of Chaos front line has mostly crumbled due to the combination of Death Gods and gun crabs. And Knights of Immolation is also running low in health. The Death Gods are just holding on just fine. They have healing, which the Warriors of Chaos don't have access to. Their hunger is really helping out here, just helping them to hold on in the long term. Another Searing Doom finally just to whittle down some of the Death Gods, but I don't know how good it is to shut down this elite unit of Vampire Coast troops. And there's still so many more Vampire Coast infantry nearby. Yeah. All the Knights of Immolation still flying around, just not having any good targets to drop their Immolation. What's it again? Oh wow. Okay, never mind. They do have it ready up. The Searing Torment. They dropped the Searing Torment onto some zombie pirate deckhead mobs, but unfortunately that's not doing a whole lot to the battlefield. The Lamprey's Revenge is still very much healthy and constantly generating with their regeneration trait. Death Gods are providing that infantry support for them to grind down the enemy infantry, while the Lamprey's Revenge sit around and just keep launching their shotgun shots, firing their shotguns at the nearby enemies. Rave Storm blasting not only the Dragon Ogres, but also some of these Forsaken here who are standing nearby. And that is, I think that is a pretty obvious lead in for the Warriors of Chaos here. Final Transmutation hitting a lot of items here. Count Noxalis hitting the gun crabs, hitting a bunch of chaff, but these are only chaff. Maybe the Death Guard has a bit more valor, but it's still an infantry unit. So there are too many models for the Final Transmutation to be effective with. And yeah, that is going to be GG here. As we are seeing the last bit of the Warriors of Chaos still fighting on. Knights of Immolation dove down and trying to support these Dragon Ogres who are being slowly grind down in the middle of halberds and shotguns from Lamprey's Revenge, while there are even more zombie pirate second mobs flooding in. And yeah, a bit of Searing Doom at the back there, just trying to thin out some of these Death Gods and help the Chaos Sorcerer Lord and this A-Code Hellbrast to catch up to Count Noxalis. But Noxalis continues to run. And sorry, let me just move the camera. Right, yeah. And gun crabs piling onto this Warriors of Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And that should be GG with army losses hit. Alright, Lamprey's Revenge did some good damage. And yeah, the gun crabs did well. One of them not so much. I suppose they are the ones getting smashed by the Dragon Ogres. But other than that, Dev God did well, grinding through an enemy Forsaken and Marauder infantry and providing those infantry support in the late game while the zombie chaff died and absorbed damage. But yeah, still not enough to, yeah. That is more than enough to deal with the Warriors of Chaos in this one here, as the Warriors are more designed to deal with an artillery box with all the Forsaken and Hellscourge Marauders. You can see the focus is on countering light armored units, specifically light armored infantry. But unfortunately, there's not. The Vampire Coasts are not relying on that to win today. And the Flyers, the Hounds, just didn't really come in handy at all, having to deal with a lot of these melee units who are simply better than them in hand-to-hand combat or teeth-to-hand combat, depending on how you see it. Dragon Ogres did good damage, smashed up one of the Rotting Prometheans, but that's about it. They lack the oomph to take down the second or even a third one. A lot of good damage from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, with all those final transmutation and Searing Doom though. So there's that. I wonder if Purple Son of the Rose would be a better way to kill infantry than Searing Doom here. Searing Doom is very cost efficient, but it's also slower. So there's that. Give a second. Alright, good to go. Next up we have Khorne versus Tomb Kings, and Tomb Kings, as we saw from Senfishio Prime here, from the first battle we played, he is definitely very committed to bringing some of these Vampire Counts campaign units for Tomb Kings here. We are seeing 2 Hexwraiths, 2 Direwolves, a line of Skeleton in the front line. And yeah, a lot of a very fast light mobility. 3 Ushapti Great Bows, one of them Chosen of the Gods. A front line of Skellies, and leading the army is Arkan the Black. On the other side, for the Khorne army here, they are bringing a bunch of Marauders with throwing axes. A pretty neat armor-piercing cavalry that can whittle down enemy constructs. A front line of Marauders with the Bloodwake Berserkers. A very powerful, high leadership elite unit, and Minotaurs of Khorne at the back there. Leading the army is Valkia the Bloody with some Furies in the sky supporting them. Immediately, the Bloodwake Berserker will be the prime target for those Ushaptis, trying to shoot them down from afar so that they don't have to fight them in melee. And that is definitely a good call there. All those artillery is leaving a very heavy dent on their HP bar. And these precision shots are just slaughtering them from afar. So the Bloodwake Berserker is not even getting into melee yet, and already down to less than half health. Oh, there's some skeleton chariots from the Tomb King side, immediately plowing through those dual weapon Khorne warriors, doing some really good impact damage. But they are earning the ire of all these Minotaurs with great weapons, who are just gonna. Did you just saw that? A ton of throwing axes being chucked into the closest model and simply missing because this skeleton chariot's just swerved, wasting a whole volley of ammo from 2 whole Marauder horsemen. That was the feint of the year, man. Baiting out a ton of throwing axes. Really nice. But anyways, Minotaurs of Khorne will be hacking down the skeleton chariots there, while the Bloodwake Berserker, a quick charge from the Hexwraiths, will be finishing them off after being weakened by a ton of Ushapti shots. Their armor is not saving them from those AP attacks either. Anyways, Minos and Furies are just diving on those Ushaptis, but Direwolves and Felbats are. Wait, are there Felbats here? I don't think I see Felbats. Anyways, Direwolves are piling in, trying to protect those artillery constructs. And indeed, working down the Chaos Furies by quite a bit of their HP. Minos continues to chase around, but they're not going to catch up to the chariots. While the Hexraves are using their magic attacks to their advantage here, charging those Furies, trying to take out the enemy demonic units by passing their physical resistance. Although some of them has taken quite a bit of damage in a combat of attrition. Yeah. But either ways, I'm sure they have done quite a bit of work. Not quite enough to justify the HP losses, but oh well. You win some, you lose some over the battlefield. And yeah, on the other side, in terms of infantry though, if the Marauders are left alone to duke it out against the Skellies, the Marauders will win. And also the Warriors as well, of course. But yeah, the Hexwaves are a big nuisance for sure. Now charging into the Minotaurs of Khorne, they're doing some pretty good AP damage, and because they are an undead, they just don't back down, even if their leadership is almost down to crumbling, but just not quite yet. And because they're occupying the Minotaurs, this opens up the Chosens of the God to start firing at something else, like these poor Bloodwake Berserker, who are not even close to earn back their own value, being so heavily focused at the early game there. Now Minos are trying to go after the Hexwaves and shut them down, but the problem with Minos is that they don't have magical attacks, and they can't bypass the physical resistance of the Hexwaves. Spear Slamnia does, but it is kind of like a 1-2 time thing, and doesn't really do enough to kill off those Hexwaves. And so the Minos will be losing that pitch battle there, being forced to fight an opponent there they're not designed for, while the Hexwaves using that physical resistance to tank all the damage and will be emerging victorious. These Hexwaves are somehow still around. I don't suppose they did a whole lot of work afterwards, after we last seen them. Oh wait, no. They actually earned back quite a bit of value so far. Leaving a mark on the Minos if I remember correctly, but yeah, other than that I'm not quite sure what. Either way, oh wait, well, the Minos are all gone, so yeah, definitely leaving a mark on the Minos is the answer there. Spring Access will be pushed back by the Chill guys, by the Hexwaves, but because the Hexwaves are ethereal, they apply Frostbite to their targets. So the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne will be slowed down by that Frostbite, being very easy to get caught up by the Hexwaves there. There's still some Spring Axes roaming the battlefield, but I assume they're trying to focus down Arkan the Black there. Can they do it? We shall see. Maybe Velcat can also try for a risky dive. But with the Hexwaves nearby, that might not necessarily be the best answer here. Anyways, oh no. The Mortar Horsemen, they waited too long before starting to run away from their pursuers, so they got terrified away, simply being near those Hexwaves. And now, Chaos Warriors of Khorne dual weapons are charging into the Hexwaves. They are Chaos Warriors, so their stats is a bit better than your Chaos Marauders. Either ways, the Tomb Kings decided not to risk it and just simply dump a Purple Sun on them and try to weaken them down instead of fighting them in melee. And yeah, the Hexwaves managed to hold on to the late game there. Some Skeleton Warriors are being sent over to the other side of the map to just tie down the Bloodwake Berserkers, preventing them from rejoining that battle. That was a nice move, making it occupied, and now the rest of your army is just free to do whatever the fuck you want. At a, like, what, a 300 gold sacrifice? But yeah. Hexwaves managed to terrify Valkia, and that shall be GG. The Minos did manage to circle around and shut down some of these Ushabti as they were able to just flank around, walk around the rather narrow front line of the enemy, but the presence of the Hexwaves and the Direwolf seems to be very detrimental to them, bypassing their armor, and not that they have much armor to begin with, bypassing what little armor they have and just cutting them down. Also with Frostbite, making them so much harder to pull away from those pursuing ethereal units with their speed minus by 30. They still did well though, and the Furies managed to help them out in shutting down the enemy artillery constructs. But the problem is that it seems like this build have nothing designed to counter Hex Waves, which makes sense to be fair. You can't use Hex Waves in the popular meta. But I did mention I'll be reintroducing the I'll be reintroducing some of the campaign-only units in this 20 and for the future 20s as well. So, yeah, there is indeed a bit of meta shifting in this 20 due to those campaign units. But if you're playing Tequila Sunset's 20 Sunday 20 on a weekly basis, you will know that anyway, since he does allow campaign units. Even the what is it called again? Knights of Torgavold. Yeah, that's the unit. But yeah, Haxor's doing really well with their magical attacks, full armor piercing, and frostbite, high speed. Good stuff. Definitely better than when I would try to use the Hex Waves, for sure. I guess Korn simply didn't really plan out the situation where they need magic attacks to kill the enemy Hex Waves, or I guess they can rely on the Bloodwag Berserkers, but they were so heavily targeted, they weren't even able to do much in the entire battle. A few seconds after joining the fight, they just got pushed off by routing. Okay. Give me a second. Just grabbing some water and I'll be back. As a Korn player, this is also bad build. Those BZ units on TK rosters are pretty strong. They got not insignificant. Wait, they have significant. Wait, they have stat increase? I did not notice that. Maybe I have to ban that then. That makes sense. Oh wait, shit. I didn't notice they have stat increase. My bad. They are indeed more expensive, so if we look into vampire counts. Okay, I might have to limit them to 2 in total next time. Okay, weapon strength increase and a bit of stats buff as well. So if we increase them a bit. Okay, so they do have significant weapon strength increase. So that is a problem. Wait. What? They have what? They have what save? Oh shit. Spell resist. Huh. I didn't realize. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll have to limit to 2 in total next time. The weapon strength is all 100% AP. That too. Yeah, I might have to limit them to 2 in total then. Yeah, that they are indeed quite strong. I was surprised how good the Hex Raves were performing. So that definitely came into play as well. Yeah, I'll have to limit them down as well. I was not aware. I didn't really look into their resistances and all that because I just assumed they're like a normal vampire count unit, but on the Tomb King roster. I didn't realize they have stat increase. Holy shit! Physical resistance on the criticals. Oh shit. Yeah, next time we are limiting them to 2 in total. Or 3 in total. Like, they seem to be pretty strong for what they are. Way more, especially the Hex Raves, way more cost efficient than the actual Vampire Counts Hex Raves. Yeah, but that is something for next time. This time we are looking into the next replay. Wait, where were we again? Alright, Greenskins versus Slanesh. Let's hop right in. Alright, Greenskins here. Greenskins going with a very WoW build, actually. 4 Biggins, 3 Orc Boys with Spears, 1 AP Gluties, 2 Orc Air Boys, Ruglux Armored Orcs, and a Giant leading the army, Goblin Great Shaman, just trying to form a box to protect themselves from the Slanesh Cycle Charge. While Slanesh here going with Marauder Horsemen with their Javi skirmishing firepower. Hell's Riders scattered across the front, and at the back there are 2 Seekers. The front line of the Volta Marauders of Slanesh and a Chaos Chariots. In the skies we have Azazel leading the army with let's see, Acquiescence and Hysterical Frenzy to boost their units' melee power and do more damage in melee contact. Anyways, seeing that the enemy is forming a box, pretty much a defensive geometry here, the Slanesh army will try to just circle around and get a surround going. Murray got hit by... Ooh, that is actually some pretty good damage from the Vindictive Glare. How much armor piercing does it have? Not a lot, but considering how much damage it did to the Murray, it's not bad at all. Anyways, the Hellstriders are getting a bit too close here. Ruglux Armored Orcs are just gonna start firing, but one thing about Orc Bagans is they don't have any shield, so the Javelins is probably best to just keep shooting them down there. Wait, what? Oh, the Javelins are trying to move close and just shoot the Warlock's Armored Orcs. But Warlock's Armored Orcs are of course armored, and they actually have missile block chance. They are wearing a shield at their back, so they are just presumed to have turned around while they reload and using the shield to block for them. So 35% missile block chance and armor. Sorry, wait, hold on. There we go. 35% missile block chance and armor. That's going to mitigate quite a bit of the Javelin shot. They're probably better off to just shoot at the Orc Bagans. Anyways, the front line is making contact there. The Volta Marauders and the Mirror Guard are smashing in. But because of the Orc Boys with Spears holding their ground, there's no opening for Slanesh to exploit and get some rear charges in. So the Orc Bagans are holding on just fine, while Slanesh is struggling to break through. They don't have their rear charges, they don't have the additional charge bonus, and every time they charge in, they are just going to take a good chunk of damage from the enemy's anti-lodge. This whole front line thing is all anti-lodge, by the way. Orc Bagans have anti-lodge, and the Orc Boys they have spears, so of course they're anti-lodge. And on top of that, Y is boosting up all those Orc Bagans melee performance, and they're absolutely smashing those House Riders and Seekers in melee combat. You can see the Seekers down to half health already, and a lot of the Seekers are just getting trashed pretty badly. Not bringing, wait, shit. What is it called again? Not bringing the Frenzy spell, shit, I forgot the name, but yeah, not bringing the Frenzy spell is a big might have been the downfall of Slanesh here, because it does force the enemy move around. Overcast has more AP, okay. Vindictive Glare, let me just do that. Oh yeah, it does have, it doubles the AP. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Okay. Yeah, it doubles the AP and does a lot more damage. Which explains the damage on those poor Mirror Guard. But yeah. I see why he was using them now. Yeah, that sounds about right. Murder Horsemen are circling around the battlefield, but unfortunately they are unable to deliver any good damage, as they're just shooting at the Orc Biggins and Orc Spears. They don't have a lot of good targets other than the Giant. Actually, they should be shooting at the Giant. That's the most efficient use of their missile capacity. Wait, what happened to oh shit, sorry, Pavane. Sorry, I forgot it's Pavane. Pavane of Slaanesh would have been great for just luring enemies out of position with that rampage. But yeah. A second one has been initiated, but Slaanesh is quickly falling apart, as all their units are getting punched hard by those Orc Biggins. So those Orc Biggins are definitely putting up a good fight. Azazel, unfortunately, is going to get bullied by large targets. Once again, if the Giant decides to walk over and slap him in the face with his big old wood, yeah, I mean, Azazel is probably going to be happy about it, but not for the player for sure. Alright, here comes the slapping. Whack! And there goes a good chunk of HP from Azazel, and he goes down. Once he goes down, this Slaanesh army. Oh, there's a forgotten unit of Seeker. Oh no! Oh no, what are you doing? It would have been a great boon for Slaanesh. I don't think it's going to make a big difference, but it's going to be a lot closer if that Seeker was being remembered and activated earlier in the game. Just having more resources to use and try to run down the enemy defenses with cycle charges. Yeah, getting a side charge onto, oh, a beautiful charge on the Orc Biggins. But immediately the Orc Biggins are going to start fighting back, and you can see the Seekers starting to drop with those anti-launch attacks landing home. Tactical reserves, yeah, tactical reserves. So I think the tactical reserves are coming in too late, as the Slaanesh troops are just getting slowly grind down bit by bit. Especially there at the Black Orc Big Boss, providing it immune to psychology to nearby orcs, really helping that box hold. I like that Rebel Rouse from those Black Orc Big Bosses, helping them stand in the way of the Slaanesh cycle charges. Any leadership effects would be a lot weaker, since the orcs would have immune to psychology, especially the big ones who have slightly better leadership than the Orc Boys and whatnot. And a lot of good damage from the Goblin Great Shaman, who also helped munching down that poor Azazel. Not a lot of damage from the Giant, but the Orc Biggins did their job there, holding their ground, and same goes for the Spears, holding their position and all that. While the Orc Airboy is just whittling down a lot of these light armored Slaanesh troops. Actually, I want to check how Azazel go down. Like, the first time we pay attention to him after army builds is he is already at half health, so something must have happened that I didn't pay attention to, so I want to check it out again. Quickly do that. Alright, let's just speed run. Start. Wait. Perhaps he got Vindictive... Yeah, oh yeah, he got Vindictive Glare, yeah. Vindictive Glare is pretty... It's pretty nasty for a light armor lord like Azazel as well, who also rely on physical resistance, making it a lot more effective here. Oh, and he got bullied by the giant spider too. Getting munched and knocked around. The javelins did some work here, but yeah, Azazel was not having a good time against the giant spider. Alright, yeah, there we go. Hold on. We're done with this one. So next up we have Keostor versus the Liz Bros. Oh, Bahrain once again going with that melee rush attempt. 3 units of Kadai Fireball on the front line of Sneaky Gits and Orc Laborers. Sneaky Gits is actually a pretty good call against against skinks, particularly the red crested. There's also the Granite Guard, Regiment of Renown, Chaos Dwarf Plunder Buses, and a bunch of Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders for some cheap and cheerful mobility. Relatively cheap at least. Saucer Prophet of Metal Magic with Gehenna's Golden Hounds. I did not expect that. Transmutation have led to reduce enemy melee performance, neutering their melee attack and damage output in general. And also, yeah, I think that's it for the... oh wait, well, there's also a Demon Engine. The Iron and Demon to roll through the enemy front lines. On the other side, for those Lizardmen units, a front line of Red Crested, they're going to struggle against the Sneaky Gits due to the Sneaky Gits anti-infantry bonus and precursor missiles. There's also a Stegodon already launching shots at those Kadai 5-1, trying to snipe them out from afar. Other than that, Colossodon Hunters, Reaper Riders, 2 of them, and Pocopac Cohort. I'll just simplify it, whatever. And once again, Razordon hunting packs. Can they fare a little bit better this time? We shall see. There are also some Feral Cold ones, and that's it for the main army. Leading the army is Gorok, and a Skink Priest of Beast already dropping in a Manticore Summon on the field. Not sure what it is good against. Perhaps it is good for disrupting enemy missile units, but right now there's not a whole lot. Oh wait, no, there is indeed the Granite Guard. Holy shit! Half of the health gone in like one second. That shot, we were in normal speed, right? And half of his HP bar just disappeared. Holy shit. Anyways, the Red Crested are indeed faltering in front of the precursor missiles and also the anti-infantry bonus of the Hobgoblins, but they're not going down without a fight, leaving a mark on their opponent's HP bar. But yeah, things seems to favor the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits for now. The Manticore is Rampage and are still sticking those Granite Guard in the fight, but there's no follow-up after the Manticore got disrupted by the Manticores. Oh, here comes the Colossodon Hunters, so this might be the follow-up they need. Quickly jumping onto the Granite Guard and try to shut them down, while the Reproductile Riders on... wait, what? They're not in position to jump on the Granite Guard. Oh no, this is a bit awkward. Now the Reproductile Riders are exposed to a countercharge from the Hobgoblins and the Kadai 5-1. Wait, where is the second unit? Where's the... oh, the Reproductile Riders are just out of position. They're not in place to do any rear charges or disruption right now. That is a big problem. They have to get close to the Granite Guard and start jumping them. Okay, there's one unit coming over and shutting just to disrupt the Granite Guard. And there's also transmutation of lead from the Metal Saucer Prophet, reducing the Lizardman's melee performance. And Pocopac Cohort got overwhelmed by a sheer amount of Hobgoblins and the Kadai 5-1 as well, which is not great. And Razordon Hunting Packs are firing, trying to shut down those Kadai 5-1, but there's no more front line for the Lizardmen, and they're not exposed to a Kadai 5-1 charging over it instead. And the Skink Priest also got surrounded and beaten up by the Kadai 5-1. The Manticore Summon in general is not the greatest idea. Ooh, the Granite Guard are in guard mode. No pun intended. So they are now firing into the nearest target they can see, as long as the models themselves are not being disrupted by melee combat. So they're doing some pretty good damage despite they are being dragged into melee combat, but more projectiles are just swarming them now. Though there are some more Kadai 5-1 nearby, and there's still a relatively healthy Iron Demon. While the Stegodon and Gorog are fighting shoulder to shoulder, trying to bully some poor orc laborers here. Granite Guard is finally routed, but not before leaving a pretty nasty mark on the Lizardman's balance of power, and also being a bait, allowing those Kadai 5-1 to charge upon these otherwise occupied Reproductile Riders. And yeah, overall the Chaos Dwarf is victorious on the infantry engagement, having more numbers, and the Hobgoblins trading way better into the Red Crescent than the other way around. And the Feral Cohorts have been driven back by the Kadai 5-1 as well. These Kadai 5-1 doing so much heavy lifting today. And yeah, but now these Kadai 5-1 got swarmed by Reproductile Riders. Though the regular projectile riders are not the most efficient in fighting Kadai Fireball. It's kind of like a similar way on the other way around anyways, because Kadai Fireball not having bonus versus large. But the Kadai Fireball are unbreakable as long as they're above 25% HP, and they're just buying more time for more of those Chaos Dwarf units to move over and reinforce. And yeah. The Kadai Fireball is finally moving into crumbling territory. There are some returning requested skins being held back, waiting for the right moment to join the fight. The Rock has finally made his way into a character-on-character engagement, smacking that social equivalent of Matto in the face. But here comes the more expensive bunch of the Chaos Dwarf units here. More Kadai Fireball returning. Other than the dead Kadai Fireball, there's still one left on the field, and an Iron Demon charging in as well. These Furrocoins are in for a bad time. And immediately getting terrified away. Stegodon is still fighting. Oh no, the Granite Guard. Despite down to 17 models left, they still have quite a bit of punch packing in their blunderbusses. But luckily, there are still some Reproductile Riders around, jumping on those Granite Guard, preventing them from launching a second volley here. Another Manticore Summon. This time, oh, the Skin Priest got let off the hook there from those enemy Kadai Fireball. So managed to get a Manticore Summon here. But seems like the Chaos Dwarf is falling behind on balance of power, simply due to the fact that they're running out of infantry and running out of monster support. Actually, their lord is just fighting somewhere else. Dropping that transmutation of lead to reduce enemy melee output, which is a decent call. But I feel like a final transmutation would have been better here, just to nuke down the enemy units a little bit quicker. And the Kadai Fireball are still fighting an uphill battle. And Flock of Doom is draining down their health, and yeah, I think that is going to be GG for the Chaos Dwarf, as the Kadai Fireborn has been overwhelmed, losing out with the demonic instability, sending them crumbling back into the warp. Iron Demon is unbreakable, so it will probably fight to its death, but we're not gonna. Thankfully, the players are just gonna end it right there, so we don't have to watch the Iron Demon trying to cycle charge around. But yeah, Razordon Hunt. Wait, they actually did something. Didn't really pay attention to them. Might actually jump back in to see what they were up to, actually. Because obviously they did something. And I thought they were just gonna go down soon anyway. So I didn't really pay attention to them. Pop cohort. They got beaten up by the Kadai Fireborn, charging them, I think. A really nice pick with the sneaky gits. Just unfortunately the monsters didn't hold out in the end. One of the Kadai Fireborn went down pretty quick. And the Iron Demon did some good damage actually. But yeah, great stuff from the Lizardman though, quickly shutting down the Granite Guard. And I was surprised the Manticore actually paid off there. The Manticore absorbing that volley, but still managed to just silence the Granite Guard, allowing the Reproductile Riders to do a follow-up, albeit a bit late, but still a follow-up nonetheless, to crush those Granite Guard in melee. Thinking it did well. Overall, the Chaos Dwarf, most of their units did okay, but unfortunately, seems like the Reproductile Riders managed to beat up quite a bit of their remaining resources, swarming the Kadai Fireborn and the Iron Demon. Yeah. Wait, what? The Furrow Cold one did a lot of good damage for this one actually. And okay, I might actually jump back in and I feel like I missed something here. I missed some context. Like how the Razordon Hunting Pack managed did something for once. And yeah, up till the mid game, I would say the Chaos Dwarf had a pretty good run so far, but afterwards, their troops slowly start to run out. And if they brought Final Transmutation instead of Transmutation of Lead, it probably would work way better. But alas, it is what it is here, and yeah. Okay, the Poho Popcore tried to charge the Iron Demon there. But just got ran through and burned down, and just got shot by this Hellgobble Sneaky Kids as well. So that was not great for them, and okay, the Razordor hunting packs were just sitting back. Okay, they're sitting back and starting to do some good damage against whatever unit they decided to fight. We see a Ripper, Colossal hunting pack jump down, and Red Crested being pushed back. Now the Arc Laborers are trying to grind down, catch those. Oh, the Gehenna's Hound. It's very bad spell. Don't use it. It's not worth it. But yeah, throw Colons, trying to swarm those Kadai Vibon. They are indeed large targets, so the Kadai Vibon's anti-infantry bonus doesn't work here. And because there are so many Lizardmen units at the back, this one could. Oh, that explains why this Kadai Vibon didn't earn much value. And that really helped the Throw Koan to earn some good value in return. Just running down the Kadai 5-1 and then running down the Granite Guard afterwards. Really limiting the damage potential from the Granite Guard. And these clever girls feasted on value in this battle. Oh, and there's also not really any good resources to no good answers against Dagadon is also an issue, I guess. But yeah, the Kadai 5-1, once it starts demonic instability crumbling, it just simply goes. So it's unlike the Skinks who just routed by return and go for a second win. The Kadai 5-1 doesn't have that second chance, and it might just die off early, losing out a good chunk of their balance of power in the process. Alright, let's quit this one and load into the next battle. Next up, we have Chaos Dwarf versus Skaven. Grog OP, please nerf. Nah, he's anything but OP. I mean, he's a pretty good fighter, but Fighter Lord isn't like a meta or anything. But yeah, I mean, Grog is very healthy though. As the Chaos Dwarf doesn't have a lot of tools to threaten him other than a Kadai 5-1. Again, the final transmutation would be amazing here. Just to hit the Stegadon and hit Gorok, but alas. Alright, next up we have Chaos Dwarf versus Skaven. Oh, wait, we already seen this, so we're gonna skip that, sorry. Just gonna wait for it to load in, and then we're just gonna move on to the next one. Alright, let's just quit this one. Lizardman versus Tomb Kings next. Chaos Dwarfs are also pretty static armies, so Gorok's lack of mobility doesn't hurt as much. Actually, that's a very good point. Unless there's a Flying Cow, though. The Flying Cow might be an issue. Anyways, this round we are seeing Sandfishy once again going with a bunch of the Vampire Counts units. They are indeed slightly buffed compared. It's not slightly, it's decently buffed compared to the base version. Having ward save, spell resistance even, and on the Hex Raves, and for the Direwolves, it's physical resistance. And also more stats as well, so making them perform better in combat. Felbats have that 15% missile resistance and whatnot, so yeah, that was an oversight on my end. I'll have to limit them down to 2 units in future 20s. Yeah, for the army builds here, there are some Crypt Ghouls who also have physical resistance and better stats on these ones. A front line of Skeleton Spears, backed up by a bunch of Ushapti Great Bowls once again. Hex Raves, 2 of them, Felbats, 2 of them, and leading the army is Arkan the Black. And on the other side, we have the Chameleon Skinks in the front line. 4 of them, and then 2 Chameleon Stalkers. And a few units. Umbro Tide, which is going to be an interesting pick against Tomb Kings. They don't have a lot of armor-piercing missiles, but they do a lot of good anti-launch damage. So against something, say, like Worse Things, that would be good damage still. Red Crested at the back there in the skies, Projectile Riders, Skink Priest of Heavens with Uranon's Thunderbolt and Curse of Midnight Wind and Wind Blast. Uranon's Thunderbolt probably targeting those enemy constructs, and Wind Blast for killing enemy chaff. Krogar with Hand of the Gods, Swiftness of Itzel, Sacred Spawning for physical resistance, and Cold Blooded. Yeah, that's it for army builds. Chameleon Skinks are already trying to skirmish down the enemy mobility, but the problem is that those Direwolves and Silver Chevron Direwolves, damn. Direwolves and Felbats immediately jumped them and picked off one of the Chameleon Skinks. Chameleon Stalkers are following up and doing some okay damage to the Felbats, driving them back. But the main threat will remain the Hexwraiths here, who does have some additional resistances compared to the base version. Hand of the Gods on to Arkan the Black, doing really good damage, knocking out 1/4 of his HP, approaching 1/3 even. While these Umbro Tide are moving up, trying to get a good aim at the enemy targets. Not a lot of large targets for them though. And oh, the Hexwraiths are hidden from in the forest, emerging out of the tree line and beelining straight for those Umbro Tide, I assume, who have revealed themselves. And because how exposed these Umbro Tide are, oh, that they are gonna be in for a rough time. Their 80 armor is not gonna help them against 100% armor piercing Hexwraith shots. A little bit of friendly fire from the Shopties and Krogar jumping in as well, trying to munch down these Hexwraiths. Around Thunderbolt as well, trying to blast them down. Can they get out of there in time? Nope. A good chunk of damage from the Uranon's Thunderbolt, but it's too late for the Umbro Tide. They have been pushed back. While the front line, the Crypt Ghouls just smashing their way through the Chameleon Skinks and the Chameleon Stalkers with their excellent melee excellent attacking stats. And whoa, holy shit! Krogar got whacked. Krogar got absolutely slaughtered by those Hexwraiths. I didn't expect them to be that good. They're even under debuffs. The Curse of Midnight Wind now reducing their melee attack, and more Skinks are reinforcing. But Krogar needs to pull back. He does not have a lot of HP left, and oh, Purple Son of Zerus nuking everything in the vicinity, and definitely some friendly fire onto the Hexwraiths as well. But killing Chameleon Skinks, killing Red Crested, and Skeleton Spears. So a lot of nuking on both sides. Over here, more AoE damage continues to deliver to the mid of this Tomb King blob, Uranon's Thunderbolt, whittling down on those Tomb King's troops. But yeah, oh, there's a Stegodon in the mix, but it's prime target for the Ushaptis. But right now the Ushaptis are more focusing on Krogar right now, just trying to shut down the enemy big giant monster target. But Krogar has made his way into combat, and the Skink Priest of Heavens also jumping in, but Ushapti summons should be able to screen him off, and Hexwraiths coming in to surround Krogar once again, and once they get the surround, Krogar is in big trouble with all the AP damage coming in. Wind Blast didn't do a whole lot, not that it's going to be good against a cavalry target anyways, and on top of that, a little bit of the spell resistance would further mitigate incoming damage. Other than that, Spirit Leech and the AP damage from the Hexwraiths should be able to finish off Krogar, and Krogar routes. That's going to be army losses, I think, as the infantry got smashed up pretty badly by a combination of Purple Sun and Crypt Ghouls, with the missiles at the back there just keep firing and picking away at those expensive dinos. This one, I don't think I cast. You're talking about the previous Chaos Dwarf one, right? Yeah, I cast that one. I haven't cast this one, but yeah, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I need to limit the vampire counts units on the Tomb King's roster. But yeah, anyways, over here we are seeing Krogar doing some damage, but the Ushapti is just taking a toll on him, and the Hexwraiths doing some really good damage. Other than that, those chameleon skins suffered pretty badly to the direwolves and felbets. I guess the lizardmen try to kite tomb kings. Normally they only have stuff like harpies, which is kind of shit, and also skeleton cavalry. But with the direwolves and felbets, especially when the direwolves came in with like a single silver chevron, they're a lot better in just munching down the chameleon skins. And the chameleon skins, when they start running away, the pursuit behavior kicks in, and that amplifies the damage from the direwolves and make them die even faster. The best way to deal with hounds is just stand there and try to fight them back instead of trying to run away. It's like fighting. It's like when you run into like wild dogs and stuff like that. You don't try to run away. That's just gonna trigger their predatory behavior. No, you stand your ground and try to scare them off or something like that. Ripper Projectile Riders didn't do a whole lot, because they were just trying to die. Wait, why did they die so quick? Actually, let me just follow the Ripper Projectile Riders a bit more, because I think I missed out on those guys too. You just got lucky? Nah, I mean, yeah, I think you played your. Okay, so there are a few things. I think you play your cards well. Of course, the Tomb King units are pretty damn strong, but I think you played your cards well. And you got a bit lucky as well, but I don't think luck is the main factor. I think you played your cards well. That's the main thing. You have good cards and you played them well, and that's why you managed to win the 20. But I think that due to how like 8% like spell resistance, which cuts spell resistance and ward save, making the Hex Waves way tankier than they should be at only 75 gold more than the base Hex Waves of the Vampire counts. That doesn't. I don't think that's a fair like unit. So I think I need to put a damper on them next week. It's not a you thing. It's just that they're a bit overtuned for multiplayer purposes. Wait, what happened to these Oh, the juice up direwolves swarming those Ripper Projectiles and just killing them straight up like that. When the Ripper Projectiles are too focused on shutting down those Shopties. These hounds have like 36 base attack too. Holy shit. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They have like 15 MD. The direwolves die incredibly fast, but to be fair, I think the bats and direwolves shouldn't be allowed. The Hex Waves are honestly not that bad. Wait. Oh. That is true. That gives the Tomb Kings a very cheap source of mobility. Maybe I'll just allow the crit goal. Oh, nah. Hex Waves, they're expensive. I think I'll just limit them to 2 units in total then. Just like Tequila Sunset. Tequila Sunset's 20. The Sartosa units are not that bad because they're expensive and they're kind of shit. So I think the Sartosa is fine. But yeah, the Tomb King's units are pretty nasty. And the direwolves are good though. The direwolves are too strong. Wait, actually, let me just check how different are the direwolves compared between Tomb Kings and Empire counts. Like 50 gold more. Oh shit. Yeah, I think I need to ban the direwolves actually, and felbats too. In that case, cost the same. Yeah, we're banning these two. So much speed, holy shit. Okay, my bad. I should have looked at them with a bit more thought. Because these direwolves, they don't make any sense. Significantly more speed and better melee stats. As a sacrifice of a less MD, but yeah, I didn't realize they're so different in melee in stats. I thought they're I literally thought they're the same thing. My bad. Yeah, that really doesn't help. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're banning. We're only allowing crypt goals and Hex Waves with a 2 unit total. We're not letting direwolves and felbats in the game. They're too strong with insane speed. Holy shit. Alright, yeah, yep, there's that. But yeah, anyways, next up we have Warriors of... That's a lot of Slanesh troops on the field. Warriors of Chaos versus Slanesh. 4 Hellstriders plus a Rotting Rider, 3 Marauder Horsemen, the Javelin ones. Chaos Knight, 3 Halberd Warriors, 2 Marauders, and 1 Chaos Sorcerer Lord of something. Is it Shadows? I think it's Shadows. It's most likely Shadows with Malkovs, right? Yeah, Shadows with Malkovs. That's the only way you can really reliably spell damage the Slanesh Cavalry. On the other side, for the Slanesh army here, Marauder Horsemen of Slanesh with Hellstriders, a front line of Devoted Marauders, and 1 Mirror Guard. There's one Chosen as well with Hell Scourges, a very elite heavy infantry that can grind through chaff for ages. Hellstriders on the other side as well, and 1 single Seeker. Yeah, just one. Oh, 2 Seekers actually. 2 Seekers at the back. And once again, we are seeing Azazel leading the army. No Pavane as same as before, with a Hysterical Frenzy to try and get an edge in melee fight. Actually, Acquiescence as well. Both are melee stats modifying spells. And Warriors of Chaos seems to get a first blood with their Javelin shots, drawing that first blood with a good volley on the Marauder Horsemen. But immediately, the Hellstriders are trying to counteract them. But as they were charging the enemy Marauder Horsemen, the Warriors of Chaos, the Undivided Hellstriders charges in, immediately takes a huge chunk of health from the Slanesh Hellstriders. Azazel and the Marauders of Slanesh are moving in, and Chosen Mirror Guard are engaging the enemy Chaos Warriors and Marauders as well. And Seekers are coming in for a counter charge now. And Hellstriders are a bit stuck in a melee fight, which they definitely do not enjoy and needs to start pulling out of that one. And on the other side, Slanesh units are trying to overwhelm the enemy mobility. Just sending in their mobility on the other flank and trying to move around. But unfortunately, the Slanesh mobility are being pushed by Hellstriders, are routing. The Seekers are also... Wait, hold on. Okay, the Seekers, there's 1 Seeker who has been on this side for the whole time. Wait, where's the other Seeker? Did they die already? They might actually died already. I didn't even... What? Oh wait, no. The Seeker retreated. There's a second Seeker here. My bad. The Seeker tried to just flank around and start swarming the enemy armored cavalry here. And it seems like the Seekers are making some headway. The enemy infantry Marauders are breaking, leaving gaps in the front line, allowing the Seekers to break through and start going after the enemy mobility from the rear and the flank. While the Undivided Hellstriders continues to push on, and a good countercharge from the Chaos Knights will be holding down the Seekers, and a Malkov's Mystifying Miasma will be finishing them off, dropping them down to Demonic Instability Crumbling territory, while at the back their Seekers are once again trying to contest the enemy mobility, but this time they have been swarmed by the taste of their own medicine, being swarmed by Hellstriders and Javelins, whittling them down. The front line is going in Slanesh's favor, but they are running out of mobility for once, and Slanesh... Oh no, Slanesh is running out of mobility, never expecting to see that, but yeah, the Warriors of Chaos, the Undivided mobility is gaining an upper hand. Their infantry might not be holding as well, but with the mobility advantage, the Undivided army can definitely bring this one in their favor. Balance of power is already in their favor, and Malkov's constantly draining down those Marauder Horsemen and Slanesh's mobility. Meaning that it is a matter of time before the Slanesh is on like a back foot. Yeah, giving their opponent a better initiative and more agency on the battlefield, better map control with their mobility, running around, sending rear charges into the backs of those Mirror Guard and other types of types of Slanesh infantry. Hellstriders, especially Hellstriders being better in shape, they're just running down those Marauder Horsemen. And some of them already shattering. Azazel is roaming the battlefield, but not a whole. His melee stat manipulation doesn't seem to work in his favor so far. And yeah, in cause, very patiently maneuvering those javelins, pulling them back, making sure that they are staying in safety, and then just using the Hellstriders to screen off the enemy mobility comes in really handy. preserving those javelins to the late game. And the mobility as well. Rotting Riders pitting down the enemy cavalry with not a whole lot of units to threaten them, and the backline there, most of them being screened off by the Chaos Warriors with Halberds and Marauders. But yeah, anyways, the Chaos Undivided Warriors are gaining an upper hand. The Warriors of Chaos here, draining down more and more of the Slash units with that Malkov's Mystifying Miasma, directly whittling down their balance of power and hitting the army losses there with Azazel going down. But yeah, Warriors of Chaos very well played with a hard front line, and then playing it quite safe with an abundance of mobility actually. 6 whole units of melee mobility, and just for once outnumbering the Hellstriders of Slaanesh there, and having a way better quality in terms of the Rotting Riders having magic attacks as well. Outfight, yeah, beating down the poor Seekers. The Seekers, one of them tried to jump on the Rotting Riders, but quickly getting counter-punched down as well. Yeah, but getting outclassed in terms of mobility there for a bit. The Chaos Knights eating a good chunk of damage from those Seekers, but they managed to tank it out. And holding down the Seekers long enough for those Malkovs to slowly drain them down. The Javelins didn't do a whole lot, but they acted as excellent bait, luring out one of the Hellstriders to go after them, and then the Warriors of Chaos countered with their own Hellstriders, getting some good damage value. And yeah, very well played by Inkos. Next up, we have, wait, hold on. We've seen that. So, yeah, these are the rest of the battles we have here. Alright. Greenskins versus Beastmen next up. Choreo versus General Spotify. Actually, do I have any replays that I haven't downloaded? Don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I've seen much. Well, actually, no, we've seen some corn replays already. Never mind. Alright, cool. Choreo with Greenskins versus General Spotify with Beastmen. General Spotify once again not bringing any spellcaster. Morgor the Shadowgave, he might have Chaos Bond Summon, but he is not a caster. A front line of Besticles, once again, very corn build. Minos with great weapons at the back there, and some Razor Gore herds. And Giant leading the way with Morgor the Shadowgave supported by a Gore Bull in case he needs to duel any single entities there. For the Greenskins, already we have some Vanguard deployed, Manji Marauders, Vanguard deployed on the corner of the map, a front line of Savage Orc Biggins and some Orc Boys in the front line, AP Loonies as well for those Vanetics cast, Ruglux Armored Orcs and Orc Boar Biggins on the flanks with 4 more units of Squig Herds. And there's also a Broken Tusk Mob. Leading the army is Azag the Slaughter, a pretty good pick overall. On his Wyvern, he has quite a bit of an HP pool, so he can't immediately get sniped out by Spirit Leech. And he's flying, so it's hard for the Beastmen to catch them in combat that he doesn't want to be. Spirit Leech already opening up onto the Giant, probably the best bet here. Actually, Gorble can be a good bet as well. Gorble has less HP, and yeah, it does more HP percentage damage. Yeah, on Gorble than on the Giant. Yeah, anyways, the Giant is getting shot by the Ruglux Armored Orc, so it has a really big, it has an oversized hitbox, so it's gonna be an easy to hit thing for the Ruglux Armored Orcs. Anyways, yeah, the Bastigors are moving up, but the Squig Herds are coming in for a downhill charge, which will amplify their damage. Although immediately the Minotaurs are nearby to deliver their own counter charge. Although yeah, the Bastigor herds are not having a good time. Anyways, the Minotaurs will immediately slaughter those Squig herds on impact. Gorble rushing in as well, and Apic Loonies dropping in that spell. Not spell, but like yeah, the spinning loons doing some really good really minor damage here. While they themselves are getting smashed apart by Minos, by Gorbo and the Besticle Herd as well. On the flanks there, we're seeing a lot of Squig Herd downhill charges. And the Savage Orc Biggins, note that they do not have a lot of AP, just have impressive weapon strength in general. And somehow they're actually coming out on top, almost even, thanks to their frenzy and way better attack stats, smashing those Besticle in melee combat when the Besticle had a bunch of armor to protect them. So yeah, shameful display for the Besticle. They've never been the best infantry, honestly. Maybe have some use against Lizardmen, but that's about it. Anyways, Besticle Herd are not making a lot of good headway in terms of melee fight against Orc Boars, maybe, but Savage Orc Biggins is actually winning there, especially with a Wad boosting their damage even further. Over here is a bit of a mess there. Orc Boar Biggins surrounding those Razor Gore Herds, surrounding the Minos, and the Squigs are joining in as well. The Razor Gore Herds are being pushed back, and the Minos are a bit left out alone, while a lot of the value for the Beastmen are being concentrated on the left flank, or maybe the middle section of the front line, honestly. With the Chaos Spawn summons, with the Giant, with the Besticles trying to punch through the enemy defenses, getting some of the Chaos Spawns onto the Reglux Armored Orcs as well. But there are some broken down spawns in the vicinity, and the anti-large Savage Orc Biggins to try and beat down the enemy large targets, who doesn't have a whole lot of armor as well, which is exactly what the Savage Orc Biggins will be good against. And on the other side, with all those Orc Boar Biggins and Azak the Slaughterer himself in the fray, these Minos are not gonna be staying for long, probably gonna get terrified anytime soon, with the Wyvern nearby. Manju Marauders finally got to the engagement, where the engagement is, and will be now whittling down the closest target they can find, and Gorbo is a good target too. A lot of armor and the armor-piercing missiles from the Manju Marauders will come in quite handy. Anyways, Minotaurs have managed to emerge on top with the infantry support here. The Savage Orc Biggins will be pushed back, and the Reglux Armored Orcs are running for their lives from those Besticle Herds. They might be armored, but that doesn't mean shit against the armored great weapons here. So they're getting cut down once they get caught. Balance of power is slightly in the Beastman's favor, since a lot of the Greenskins are on the run and they lost quite a bit of their mobility as well. And those are expensive mobility. These guys might actually just want to charge into the Minos and try to do a bit more damage before they eventually get caught or something. But yeah, the Greenskin units are very much separated right now. A lot of units are being concentrated on this side to try and dispatch the enemy Minos on this flank and also their Razor Gore Herds, but at the same time they are unable to reinforce the other side of the battlefield in time. The Boar Boy Biggins managed to get away from the Minos, and with the Morgros Manju Marauders doing some kiting. But Morgros Manju Marauders might want to turn off fire at will and only shoot at units they want to shoot at, because if they're running away from Morgor, they'll be auto-firing at Morgor and wasting the ammo on a unit that is self-regenerating, have quite a bit of missile resistance at 75%, and is a small foot-size single entity character. So yeah, it probably did more friendly fire to the Gorbo than actually doing damage to Morgor at that point. But yeah, anyways, both sides are converging their forces. And we're waiting for the final duel. The Giant will be going down soon. Spirit Leech is draining its health, and maybe a couple volleys from the Morgros Manju Marauders will kill it. But yeah, should Gorbo is a good idea as well. But yeah, Spirit Leech will be draining it down, and Morgor the Shadow Gave dallying forth, trying to get a fight on. But yeah, the Greenskins are waiting. Time is not on their side though, because the capture point is in the hands of the Beastmen. So they need to make sure they act in time before the timer runs out. But yeah, the Morgros Manju Marauders have been doing some kiting here, whittling down the Gorbo. Wait, the Gorbo sallied forth and getting way out of position with no infantry support. And now it's surrounded by enemy units with nothing to save him. Oh no, that is bad. It does open up a charge for the Minotaurs, but there are way more enemies nearby than actual beastman units. So the greenskins should be able to overwhelm the Minos, especially with the Salvager Orc Boy Biggins in there to help. Okay, the Orc Boy Biggins are being cut down, and the Salvager Orc Biggins as well, just being rather weak in HP at this point. But if there's a rear charge from the Morgos Mansion Marauders, it might change things by delivering some damage to the Minos. The Salvager Orc Biggins are still fighting, duking it out. Oh no, the Orc Boy Biggins are a bit trapped in an abundance of enemy, an abundance of Bestigals and Minos, so that was not great for them. They took a lot of damage in the process. Outside the Slaughter is trying to munch down Morgr, but that's not gonna be going anywhere. Yeah, it's not gonna be going anywhere any progressive, because Morgr is just gonna heal. He is a tanky lord with decent enough melee stats to hold his own in battle. While Azak the Slaughter, he is surrounded by Bestigor, and his troops are getting whittled down in the battle of attrition against Bestigor as well. Instead of actually cycle charging around. So balance of power in the end favored the Beastmen, with Morgr constant healings, holding up that balance of power, and the Bestigor clutching it out, holding it till the end game. And yeah, they got some really good value from General Spotify. I'm surprised, as the greenskins don't have a lot of good anti-armor options other than Squig Herds, who just got quickly smashed and killed by the Minotaurs in the early game. Yeah. The Raglock's Armored Orcs did okay, and Mangy Marauders did a lot of good damage, but yeah, actually, something I forgot about, actually. Bestigals do have immune to psychology. Wait, they have immune to psychology, right? I really messed up those loons. They did 90% friendly fire. Oh, that explains the loons dying so quick. I was like, did they get killed by the giant or some Minos charging them? Or did they just got hit by the spinning loons themselves? I guess they just unleashed the spinning loons on themselves then. Yeah, the Bestigals actually did pretty good here. Actually earning back their worth with 3 of the units. This one didn't, but the rest made up the difference with their additional damage anyways. And yeah, the cows did well as usual, just killing all those Orc Boy Biggins as they were just staying in melee for a little too long there. Probably should have done some psycho charging, and the Squigs unfortunately just didn't do a whole lot in this battle. And Azak the Slaughter, I probably would have loved to see him bring the some Purple Son of Zerus, because Spirit Leech against a giant is not cost efficient. You're doing like what, 5% of his HP damage every hit, while if you Spirit Leech something like a Gorbel, which is 7,000 HP, you can probably do like 10% of his HP damage with a single cast if you're lucky. So yeah, never Spirit Leech a giant with like 12,000 HP, man. It's not what you want to do. Spirit Leech a Gorbel would have been done way better. It's too much of an HP pool there. Or just Purple Son of Zerus, these Bestigor herds. They're still heavy infantry after all, so you still need to kill through them, and it's not great to trade against them, especially they have armor piercing. So not great to trade against them with your own cavalry. And Squig Herd, obviously, it's inferior mobility, so didn't do a whole lot. So all Beastmen have it kinda, but these Bestigors have good leadership, so they keep it longer. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if we look at the Bestigor unit here, if their leadership is higher than 50% of base, they get better attack, immune to psychology, charge bonus, and speed. Okay, they don't actually have actual immune to psychology, but they still have pretty good leadership for a Bestigor, for a Beastman, so they're gonna hold longer. Yeah, they managed to hold on pretty well. Also, every time in these tournaments when I'm greenskin I don't bring Spider Shaman, I lost that game. Coincidence? I think I thunk it. Maybe you just need to bring you just need to bring a Gobble Sorcerer. Gobble Shaman, not Sorcerer. Gobble Shaman on foot as your hero. instead of relying on anything else. Or maybe you just need a Purple Son of Zerus, honestly. Yeah, you have Purple Son of Zerus. You could have used it on those Bestigors. You should have used it on Bestigors instead of using it on using Spirit Leeches on Giant. It's probably a more productive way of your Winds of Magic. Yeah, that is it for this one. Next up, we have wait, Chaos Dwarf? Okay, let's see. Yeah, these are the last 4 battles. Alright, Chaos Dwarf versus Vampire Coast. Once again, Vampire Coast going with that melee rush with 3 gun crabs. One of them, the Lamprey's Revenge, 3 Death Gods, a front line of Deckhand Moths, 3 of them full arms, and 5 of them regular ones. Noctilus leading the army, and on the other side for Borain, a front line of laborers mixed in with Chaos Dwarf warriors, and a single Iron Demon backed up by a bunch of Hobgoblin archers ready to counteract enemy gun line. But unfortunately for them, there's no gun line today, so they have to shoot at gun crabs. Primarily the Lamprey's Revenge, which has weakness to fire. Anyways, other than that, we see a bunch of Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders on the field with spears to interrupt enemy gun lines, but again, no gun lines for them to interrupt. So their uses are quite limited here. They do have Burning Hat to roast down the enemy chaff and Cascading Fire Cloak. And Archers already firing, trying to whittle down the enemy deck and mobs. Gun Crabs already are counter-firing as well, and Count Nautilus trying to disrupt the enemy advance, plunging straight into combat and dropping in a zombie summon onto the Hobgoblin Archers as well. But yeah, Kadai 5-1 are moving into the front line, nothing really to worry about in terms of missiles, but they do need to make sure they smash apart those Death Gods. Their fire damage would come in really handy to cut down the enemy hunger healing by half. Really nice Pit of Shades from Count Nautilus, and a follow-up with Wraith Storm. Just nuking these Hobgoblin Archers overlapped with the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and on top of that, shattering the Archers as well. And the Kadai 5-1 are still busy fighting Zombie Pirate Deck and Mobs, Summon version 2, while being shot by the Lamprey's Revenge. The Archers are firing from the back there, but with the infantry quickly smashed apart by those Death Gods. Burning Head is trying to equalize things a bit, but yeah, most of the Chaos Dwarf front line has crumbled due to the Death Gods punching through. And the Archer lines are getting compromised by an abundance of melee enemies. On the other side, Kadai 5-1 is both sides actually. Kadai 5-1 is running low in health. While they do have armor piercing, fighting gun crabs is not their specialty, and the gun crabs are doing good damage by just firing at them from point blank with the gunner on their backs. So the gun crabs are going down pretty badly. And the Iron Demon is rolling through. Ooh, really nice. Once again, really good Pit of Shades cast, hitting those overlap units. Actually, those are routed units running into the range of the spell. So that was quite unfortunate for the Chaos Dwarfs. But yeah, most of the Chaos Dwarf army is just crumbling to bits. Most of their army is designed to deal with a gun line and reach the front line to hold down the enemy's chaff, and then the archers fire. But the enemies are too strong, so the front line immediately crumbles. And even the Kadai 5-1 can't hold for long when those rotting Prometheans are shooting them point blank. And yeah, that is a pretty handy victory for the Vampire Coast. Really nice melee rush design there. When your opponents are always expecting you to bring a missile heavy build, you can always subvert the expectation with a melee centric build like the Vampire Coast here. Quickly breaking through the enemy chaff front line, and there's not much they can do afterwards other than just crumble to dust. Yeah. As you can see, the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders didn't do a whole lot. All they can charge are some enemy zombie chaff, which are not bad in melee in terms of fighting off light cavalry. You definitely don't want to fight a light cavalry with them for sure. So yeah, the Rotting Wolf Prometheans continues to fight on, with infantry supporting them, manage to grind down those Kadai Fireborn. And yeah, the rest of the Chaos Dwarfs will just be faltering here. Iron Demon is unbreakable, but gun crabs are chasing after it, and those guns are definitely whittling down this demon engine. We're just gonna fast forward here. And let me just quickly rewatch this bit. I think I want to catch the Pit of Shades again. Because that initial Pit of Shades just nuked so much. Like, these armored infantry just quickly went down. Not that they will stand much. Not that they will be much of an issue for the Death Gods to cut through, though. Like, yeah, these, the archers are non-armor piercing, so won't be able to do much against the Death Gods. They can shoot the Lamprey's Revenge, but it's gonna take them time, and time is not on their side when the Death Guards is just cleaving their way, ripping and tearing through those poor hobgoblins and laborers. Yeah, the laborers aren't gonna hold long there, and forcing the Kadai Fireborn to engage. But immediately they're overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Death God, full arm zombies, regular zombies, and the gun crabs immediately. Everything else. Oh wait, the Pit of Shades. Whatever. I'm not gonna watch it again. And the archers just don't have a lot of good targets to shoot at. Immediately, everything just crumbled in the front line, middle section there. Especially stuff getting nuked by the Pit of Shades. The Orc Laborers simply can't hold for much. Can't hold much in front of the sheer amount of sheer quality of Vampire Coast units. Also, every time in these tournaments, yeah, hold on. I should have saved for that too. Impatient, yeah. Those purple Son of Zerus would be really handy in killing off those Besticles, which I don't think the Greenskin build had a lot of answer towards. Like, the Giant can be swarmed by something like Orc Borway Biggins and shot by Roglok's Armored Trolls. Oh, Armored Orcs, sorry. You have the tools to deal with Giant, but you don't have the best tools to deal with the Besticles other than the Purple Son of Zerus, so yeah. But then again, I also lost against the Greenskin, so it's not like I'm in a much better position here to talk about builds and oh wow. I also lost. I probably would lose against the Beastman, but yeah, it's not like I have a lot of. I'm in a better position against to talk about builds and stuff. But yeah, anyways, Iron Demon did some good damage, but the Kadai Fireborn, they are good normally, and they should do good against Death God, but they were just having too much on their plate. The front line didn't hold at all, and they just have to deal with Death Guards, Gun Crabs, and Zombie Chaff. Some of them with pole arms too, and there was too much on their plate. The Hobgoblin units, while being relatively expensive, they cost like what, 3,500 plus. Yeah, they cost 3,500 plus, which is like over 1/4 of your army, almost one third, and they still didn't do a whole lot here. Not having any gun lines to disrupt, not having any gun lines to shoot at, as the weak front line immediately crumbles, there's nothing to protect them from getting slaughtered. So the Gun Crabs did really well, shutting down the enemy Kadai Fireborn, and the Death Gods also did some good damage overall. And a lot of deadly Pit of Shades from Count Noctilus, of course, exploiting the enemy's blobbed up units. And in the end, victory belongs to the Vampire Coast. Next up, we have the Greenskins versus Skaven. Greenskins here going with the Hammer of Gork. I like this. Hammer of Gork, other than just being an artillery, it also has the blinded effect, nuking enemy melee stats. -24 attack and defense. It's a really good debuffer, and unlike spells, it doesn't have cooldown. It just keeps shooting, and you can keep a unit constantly debuffed. So it's a really good unit, and if you want to turn melee fights in your favor. But anyways, the rest of the army build here: Orc Boys and Goblins in front line, Apic Loonies at the back there, Rusty Airs, and on the flank a lot of mobility with the Greenskins. Hammer of Gork. Orc boys here, a bunch of Squig Herd and Orc boys. It does one Broken Tusk mob and the Moon Howlers. Moon Howlers also have the trait that costs fear, making them better against Skavens and by lowering their leadership. Other than that, on the other side, Orc boys, Squig Herds, which would do well with their anti-infantry armor piercing against weapons teams, and Morgrov's Menji Marauders. Leading the army is another Goblin Great Shaman on Spider. And yeah, that's it for the Greenskin army build. It's a very wide army build with a lot of melee units. Definitely trying to overwhelm the Skaven position with sheer numbers. For the Skavens, Wolf Rats with poison. A front line of... a very wide line of Skaven slaves. Holy shit, that's so many Skavens. Trying to match the enemy's wide deployment. And then backed up by a core of monsters here. Red Ogres, Thing, and Hellpit Abomination. Double Hellpit Abominations. And a Morse Guitarist Hellion, Quick Hat Taker, and Warlock Engineer. Coming in with Howling Warp Gale and Flensing Ruin. I don't think the Howling Warp Gale is necessary here. There's no way you can exploit the position lock. There's no way you can exploit and immobilize Flyer anyways. So might as well just commit it all into Flensing Ruin and spare some more funds for, I don't know, another Skaven chaff. But yeah, Vindictive Glare this time going for a Morse Guitarist Hellion. It doesn't have healing, so this is a great target for that missile spell to just whittle it down. Yeah, it doesn't have healing. And trying to whittle it down from far. Epic Looting is already unleashing the spinning loons among Skaven slaves, not that they have better targets to use it on anyways. And Rusty Airs are shooting. But they might want to pull back now and let the Squig Herds take the fight to the Skaven slaves. It's a very wide engagement all over the place. From one end of the map, almost white line, to the other end of the map. Also very close to white line. So I can't catch everything, unfortunately, due to the limited camera angle, but we shall try. Greenskin front line is winning an upper hand against Skaven slaves. After all, they are just Skaven slaves, but Hellpit Abominations and Red Ogres should be able to turn the things around in Skaven's favor, as the Orc boys are quickly crumbling against pressure from all those monsters. Thing beelining straight for the Rugrux Armored Orcs with nothing to stop it, and start smashing apart these Orcs in melee combat. Though the Rusty Airs manage to retreat away from the Skaven slaves and hold their position, start whittling down the Thing. But yeah, more of the Orcs are getting broken apart by the enemy monsters, and the Red Ogres are free to roam the backline. Though the Wolf Rats with poison managed to catch the Hammer of Gork out of position with nothing to kill them. Oh no, the Moon Howlers didn't really see those Wolf Rats. They were just trying to pull back and didn't really pay attention to the Wolf Rats. Though somehow the Broken Tusk mob just kind of walked into the Wolf Rats and start fighting them either ways. It's gonna take them some time to take down the Wolf Rats though, so that's not a great use of their time either. But yeah, anyways, Rusty Airs though, ooh, they're getting caught by those Vanguard deployed mobility. Catching those out of position Greenskins missiles, and that will be really helpful in helping these these Hellpit Abominations survive. Broken Tusk mob might want to start going after the Thing and try to kill it before it can regenerate much of its health. Because right now the Greenskins simply do not have any good tools against the large monsters. If the since the missiles are not going to come back, they're just getting chased down by Wolf Rats and Red Ogres. But yeah, now that the double Hellpit Abominations are just kind of converging with each other, things are not looking too hot for the Greenskins. The Hellpit Abominations can fight shoulder to shoulder here, although, okay, never mind. They might get overwhelmed here. Completely surrounded with no Skaven slave support. Things are looking a bit rough for the Thing. If it's allowed to just take a breather and start healing, it might be different. Things might go differently, but right now, it's just getting surrounded and grind down by all these anti-large armor-piercing elite board cavalry. While the rest of the Greenskins are also getting a massive whop, buffing up their melee stats. But yeah, the Wolf Rats with poison are converging into this pocket here, trying to support those Hellpit Abomination. Trying to give them a little bit of that, kind of like an infantry support, more bodies on the field and distract the Orc Boy Begins from attacking. those Hellpit Abomination. And the Hellpit Abominations survive, while the Morgoth's Mangy Marauders are too distracted by the Morse Guitar's Hellion to actually shoot at the Hellpit Abominations there. Another Vindictive Guard, this time on the Hellpit Abomination, but I'm not sure if it's the best use of your Winds of Magic at this point. Balance of Heart is fairly even there, but the Greenskins do not have a lot of good answers for those large single entities here. All these routed Board Warrior Cavalry are just gonna get chased off and picked apart by all those pursuing Wolf Rats. And there's no anti-large specialist other than the Mangy Marauders and the Gobble Great Shaman on the Ragnarok Spider. All it can rely on is the sheer numbers of Squigs and Gobbles, which has been largely conserved simply because there's a lack of quality infantry from the Skaven side to take them down, and the Greenskins handily won the infantry fight. Looks like though the sheer numbers is slowly weighing down on these Hellpit Abominations, and they're on the verge of death. I think this might be a bit of a premature throw, because the Hellpit Abomination can always get that burst heal. I mean, it's a proc by with 50-50 chance, so but it's still a chance, and there's always a chance that those Hellpit Abominations can get that burst heal and turn the battle around. So I think it's a bit of a premature surrender. But yeah, those Hellpit Abominations are indeed getting grind down by sheer numbers, and the Skavens can't really do much about it. And it's an honorable surrender though. Instead of dragging the battle on with gimmick mechanics, the burst heals, Milky Way decided to accept defeat gracefully and spare us from a single entity grind of literally minutes long. But yeah, the Wolf Rats are a really good pick here. Just getting some really good ambush on the Hammer of Gork and chase down the Rusty Heirs, allowing the Hellpit Abomination to survive a lot longer into the late game. Just unfortunately, the rest of the Skaven units got crushed by the Greenskins melee. The Greenskins simply outclassed those Skaven slaves significantly in melee, and the Skaven's monstrous engagements didn't earn them the edge they need to win the game here. As they still have a lot of bodies that they need to cut down. And yeah. But I think the Hellpit Abomination has a pretty good chance of winning if they can get those burst heals. But yeah. They didn't bother to wait for that, and that shall be victory for the Greenskins. Next up, once again, Tomb Kings with those campaign-only units. Double Hex Raves, Crypt Ghouls, two Felbats, and 2 Dire Wolves. 2 Sepulchral Stalkers, one of them Eyes of the Desert, and 1 Scorpion, Tomb Scorpion. Did not expect to see a Tomb Scorpion here with a double Silver Chevron, even. Definitely having quite a bit of leftover funds at that point. And leading an army arc in the Black on horseback with Doom and Darkness, knowing that Beastman doesn't have the most reliable leadership. And Spirit Leech, the Hex Raves and the Tomb Scorpion, having that terror would be really handy in routing those Beastman units, alongside with that Doom and Darkness. On the other side, for the Beastman Blackhorns, Ravagers plus Pestigors, no Pestigors, just Pestigors, in the front line there, and Angor Spears. At the back there, Razorgore Hurts and Minos as well. We are seeing an Eye of Morslip, which I doubt how good it might be, but if it can get its magical rocks land on those Hex Raves, it can do some pretty nasty damage. And remember, this is General Spotify we're talking about. The guy doesn't bring spell, so there's no magic damage, there's no spell damage against this, the Hex Raves. Not that it's going to be anything good anyways with the 20% resistance, but either ways, yeah, Staff of Ruinous Corruption and the Spirit Essence of Chaos from Morgor Shadowgrave here, trying to get some Chaos Spawn summon. Gorble here, and that's it for army builds. Oh, some Felbats. Some Harpies in the skies to counteract the Felbats, but Felbats 19 attack and 49 defense versus 22 attack and 38 defense. Man, these Felbats are OP. Yeah, well, I'm gonna ban these guys next week. Apologies about that, but yeah, that's gonna be something we have to. Oh, actually, no. I'm not around next week. Shit. The week after. Yeah, we are. Something that I'm gonna talk about is we have to skip next week's 20 because I have a work commitment that I need to deal with, so I won't be able to cast the 20. But anyways, we missed the starting of engagement there. Razorgore Hurts managed to Razorgore's Pestigores together was able to beat down those direwolves, and Felbets are also taking a bunch of damage, but the Razorgores got charged by the Hex Waves and will be routed, terror routed even. While the Skeleton Warriors are clashing into Blackhorn's Ravagers and Angor's Spears, and probably we're just gonna lose this fight here, but the Crit Ghouls, who are indeed a pretty solid unit, thanks to the buffs here, should trade quite well into the Blackhorn's Ravagers. Let's slow down a bit there. On the other flank, Hex Waves are trying to flank around, circle around, and exploit the enemy's rather loose formation, rather scattered all over the place. Eye of Morsley, though, already lobbing rocks into the Hex Waves. The magical missile is definitely doing some pretty good work, smashing apart some of these Hex Waves, and Minos are trying to threaten them with a charge as well. But yeah, things are happening on both sides. Hex Waves will be running down the Razorgores and then moving on to the next target. Minotaurs with great weapons are trying to surround and cut down the Tomb Scorpion here. With the Harpies dropping, trying to drop them and provide them with a little bit more of infantry models body support. But yeah, the Sepulchral Stalkers are approaching the front line, getting close enough to start launching their Venom Laser onto the Minotaurs with great weapons. And at the same time, this blob here, despite the summon of the Chaos Spawns, the Crypt Ghouls, Skeleton Warriors, and Archon the Black himself in the fray was able to weaken these Blackhorn Ravagers enough that a single Overcast Doom and Darkness is able to cause a chain route from the Angor Spears and then the Blackhorn's Ravagers as well. Oh no, they could have held on a little longer there, but the frightened by enemy and the Doom and Darkness pushed them into that routing territory, and they are being forced off the forced away from the engagement here. Eye of Morslave is now being caught by the Direwolves, and the Minos and Pestigores are out of position, unable to provide any support to the Eye of Morslave. They probably should have just stood right on top of the Eye of Morslave and just provide him with that infantry support while he chucked rocks. Because right now, the Direwolves and Hex Waves are free to just jump onto him. But right now, anyways, the focus of the engagement of the Tomb Kings aren't there. It's on this side, trying to just deal with the rest of the enemy infantry and the Minos over here as well, who are being occupied by the Hex Waves, and on top of that being shot by the Sepulchral Stalkers, earning them quite a bit of value. Overwhelmed by sheer numbers of enemies there, the Minotaurs can't really hold and will be pushed back. And yeah, the Tomb Kings even able to summon a Shabti on the field now. Although the Pestigore is able to just chop down the Direwolves with not much in their way, since the Direwolves, despite their excellent melee attack, they have shit melee defense at only 14, so they die. They just get melted. But yeah, right now the Hex Waves are definitely earning the Tomb Kings an upper hand here. Just being a very strong mobility that can just roam around the battlefield with excellent speed and 94 space speed and a lot of resistances on it as well, and a little bit better melee stats than your regular Hex Waves. And now once they get to surround the Eye of Morslave, they are just quickly hacking it down with their deadly melee attacks. Minotaurs decided to give up on the Hex Waves because they know they can't chase after, they can't actually catch up to them. So they're just going after the Sepulchral Stalkers and dragging them down in melee. But yeah, the Tomb Kings are getting some they're getting some pretty good engagements over here. Having the mobility advantage means that once the Pestigores rout, they can just chase them down and eliminate them from the Beastman balance of power. With nothing to stop them from the Beastman's side. There's still some Minos who manage to return. Pestigores are trying to drag down that Tomb Scorpion. Oh no, the Minotaurs are distracted by the spears and they are now dragged into a fight they do not want to be. Surrounded by spears and Silage, they are just gonna get attrition down, while the Pestigores fought them out. They were able to pin down the Tomb Scorpion for a while, and it would be great if the Minotaurs actually charge in, but alas, the Minotaurs got distracted by the spears and missed that opportunity. And now a relatively healthy Hexwave unit is going after them. Eye of Morslave, unfortunately, will be routed with a Doom and Darkness, and the Spirit Leech draining it down too. And Hexwave will just ignore the Doom Bull, ignore the Gore Bull, and probably try to chase down Eyes of Morslave. Yeah, it's not going to be allowed to come back. It could have done more damage with the Rock Thrills if given the opportunity, but I don't think it's going to matter here because the Hexwaves are just going to make sure it never comes back. Morgor and Gorbul here getting stuck in the middle of Skeleton Warriors will be forced to let Arcane the Black go. And yeah, the Minos here will be finished off by the Hexwaves and Spears. We're going to fast forward as both armies are very much scattered all over the battlefield. Not having spells, it is an admirable choice from General Spotify here, but that does put him in a back on the put him at a disadvantage in every fight. Unable to deal with magical presence like the Hexwaves, or just even whittle down some of the enemy chaff would have been great too. But yeah, there's none of those here. So Minotaurs still moving around the battlefield, got rear charged by a bunch of Hexwaves. I think they were trying to go after. Oh, they were trying to go after the Sepulchral Stalkers perhaps, but then got rear charged by the Hexwaves, and another Hexwaves joins in, and those Minos will be eliminated. Gorbul is trying to help, but he's surrounded and Spirit Leech, and he's gonna go down as well, being finished off by a combination of magical strikes from the Hexwaves and then the Spirit Leech as well, leaving only Morgor the Shadowgate holding up the balance of power, and the Ungor Spears gonna get bullied by the terror-inducing Hexwaves and also the Tomb Scorpion as well. Yeah, that is gonna be GG here with a victory belonging to the Tomb Kings, and with that, the Tomb Kings having a major advantage due to the campaign-only units was able to get a resounding victory in this Wednesday Faction Wars, and you can see how good those Hexwaves are, and even the Crypt Ghouls got a lot of good damage, while the rest of the army is just getting carried by them. So yeah, I definitely have to restrict the Tomb Kings unit's presence next week. Maybe I would have to limit Hexwaves to one only, even, because they're just so damn good. Yeah, Morgor the Shadowgate there. He's tanky, but he doesn't do anything other than Chaosmon Summon. So he doesn't really do much. Gorbul did some damage, but not a whole lot. And the Goreherd front line just got bullied by a Doom and Darkness, and then they routed early because of the leadership bomb, and then just got chased down by those Hexwaves, Direwolves, and whatnot. Because Tomb Kings do have that mobility advantage there. Minos try their best to carry the game, but unfortunately just not quite able to do so, with the rest of the army falling apart, including the Eye of Morslave costing quite a bit but not earning back its worth. If the Pestigore just stand on top of it, allowing to just keep chugging rocks at those Hexwaves, that would have been way better, but alas, that was not the case here. And that is going to be GG for this battle. Hexwaves have been difficult all day. Yeah. I definitely will have to limit them next week. But yeah, one final battle here, Lizardman versus Khorne. We're seeing Lizardman, Lord Mazdamundi, with Star Chamber Guardians and some Sauruses, alongside a shred of Lustria, a very elite blob build, and a couple of Pterodon Riders in the skies. Oh yeah, they're gonna be a Fury target practice at that point. Fury meat. Fury food, but Furies are demons. They don't need to eat, so it doesn't make sense. But yeah, Fury sacrifice, it's probably better, more accurate in terms of the Khorne theme. But yeah, these guys are gonna get slaughtered by Furies if they get caught. Yeah, 90 speed versus 110. Yeah, they're gonna get caught and die, unfortunately. So they might want to just drop onto the ground. Furies are moving in. Let's slow down a bit. Lord Mazdamundi coming in with Net, Comet of Cassandora, Apotheosis, and Ruination of City Bound, Apotheosis, Shield of the Old Ones, and Cold Blooded. Star Chamber Guardians are going to be very key here, providing that physical resistance to Lord Mazdamundi, and also being an unbreakable halberd, elite halberd, near Lord Mazdamundi. On the other side, for the Khorne army, once again we're seeing Valkyr the Bloody here. Used to be like a pretty standard Lord pick for Khorne, but seems like he is falling out of favor. She is falling out of favor for Khorne recently. Not seeing her as often. Khorne Gore's in the front line there, backed up by the Bloodwake Berserkers, Minotaurs of Khorne, 2 of them in fact, multiple Throwing Axes, Murder Horsemen, and Chaos Furies. Pasha is playing Khorne, and actually I'm pretty glad to see him using Khorne instead of the usual Kislev for once. So yeah, props to Pasha. And yeah, we have some mix-up from Pasha this week. Anyways, Furies in the skies, and that's it for the Khorne army build. And then immediately the Shredder is already opening fire with that Shredder signature blow dot, machine gun blow dot mounted missiles, whittling down the Chaos Furies there. And the Marauder Horsemen are just sitting back right now, just trying to harass the Sauruses. And very wisely, the Lizardmen drop down their Pterodon Riders onto the ground, knowing that they can't contest the air game against the Furies in the sky. So just gonna use them as like a ground missile unit, shooting at whatever light units that get close, and try to occupy the capture point. Yeah, they have the capture point now, so it is up to Khorne to try and move close and start working on them. But with the Pterodon Riders and the Shredder, it might be rough for the Marauder Horsemen to get close to, because they're just gonna be shooting. I wonder if it would have been... Oh, and also Flock of Dooms from the... Wait, Flock of Dooms? Wait, what? Wait, hold on, what? Oh yeah, I missed out this King Priest of Beast in the Skies. Flock of Doom is interesting. Like, you are paying quite a bit of money into the King Priest, but at the same time you're taking away your Winds of Magic from Lord Mazdamundi and denying him from using more Apotheosis and his other spells. So it's a bit of a mix. I have mixed opinions on this unit choice. It is good to counter skirmish with Flock of Doom, bringing down the Marauder Horsemen and whatnot, but remember they have that 35% of spell resistance, making them less vulnerable to spell damage, and the Flock of Doom is less effective. Although the blow dots and whatnot is doing quite well, just whittling down the throwing axes. Maybe you want to just park those throwing axes nearby and just keep chugging throwing axes at Shredder on Lustria. Because right now they're not doing a whole lot. And maybe spread them out a bit. Because blobbing them up like that is just prime target for Flock of Dooms. But yeah, the Khorne Gores are moving in, but and Bloodwake Berserker as well. Actually, the throwing axes plus Bloodwake Berserker is starting to leave a mark on the Shredder of Lustria, but the Shredder is munching down these poor Bloodwake Berserker, having enough melee attack to punch through their melee defenses and leaving a mark on them. And yeah, and the rest of the Khorne Gores and wait, well, more Flock of them onto the Murder Horsemen, routing them and also luring, pushing them back with the bound management mostly missing. But anyways, everything is now being YOLO'd into the blob there. Minotaur is charging in, Khorne Gores charging in, and the Furies are dying, and the Saurus Warriors taking a bunch of damage as well. The Star Chamber Guardians are holding, but the Bloodwake Berserkers should be able to do some good work against them. Command of Cassandra coming in. If it accidentally hits the Shredder, that would be embarrassing, because it's gonna do a good chunk of damage on him. But no, very good damage onto the Khorne Gores instead, and immediately routing them with the Shredder of Lustria, inducing that -8 leadership with the Dread Aversion. And yeah, things are not looking great for the Khorne. They're leaving a mark on some of the Lizardman units, but the constant Flock of Doom is definitely taking its toll on the remaining Khorne units. Definitely need to spread out those Khorne Marauder Horsemen more to deny those very deadly, very lucrative Flock of Dooms. Because if you spread out, if you spread out a Khorne skirmisher here, one skirmisher here, and one skirmisher here, you can at most catch only one Khorne Marauder Horseman with a Flock of Doom, greatly reducing the damage
that is dealt by the Skin Priest and reducing the damage received by the Murder Horseman, helping them survive longer. And because the Lizardman doesn't have the most mobility on the field anyways, it's not like you need a lot of micro to keep them alive. Anyways, looks like the Minos and the Halberds and the Throwing Axes have managed to kill off the Shredder. This is why you might not want a Flock of Doom caster with Lordmaster Mundi on the field, because it takes away all the apotheosis you can cast with him, with all the Winds of Magic invested in the Flock of Dooms. So the Shredder has been dealt with, not a whole lot of Winds of Magic left for the apotheosis, no doubt, and will be seen off, though Master Mundi is still very much healthy. While the Murder Horseman has been dealt with by the sheer amount of Flock of Doom. So I guess it is still a beneficial trade. But yeah, with the Shredder gone, it is down to a very weakened unit of Star Chamber Guardians, some routed Sauruses, and Lordmaster Mundi trying to duke it out. But with the Black Wake Berserkers here duking it out throughout most of the battle and just ignoring, shrugging off those AoE spells, Lordmaster Mundi is not enough to hold against these elite low model count infantry. You can see Lordmaster Mundi is taking a lot of good damage here, and Army Losses is gonna hit as Minotaurs hack down Lordmaster Mundi. Although for some reason, the Eternal Duty is... Oh, it might be because Lordmaster Mundi died and they're still near Lordmaster Mundi. I don't know why, but it seems like this ability might be bugged. But yeah, they're still unbreakable, not that it's gonna change anything anyways, and the last bit of the Lizardman has been dealt with. The Dressorian still did a lot of good damage, earning back its worth, but not the rest of the army though. They barely managed to hold. A lot of good Flock of Dooms though. But yeah, the Throwing Axes earned back quite a bit of value, but the Minos surrounding and cutting down the Dressorian is a very important factor here, with alongside, of course, the Regiment of Renowned Warmongers and Valkyr the Bloody here. Surrounding and beating down the Dressorian. Actually, I'm gonna jump back into the replay here and just rewatch how the Dressorian died. Because that is actually quite an interesting point to talk about. It's that the Dressorian, while very good at killing things in a one-on-one basis, if it gets surrounded by armor-piercing anti-large or just great amounts of armor-piercing damage, like the Minos and Bloodwake Berserker, it actually goes down really fast because of its large model. Because the bigger the model is, the bigger the hitbox as well. So let's fast forward here. This is something that's very important about killing monster, is like the contact area against your target. The larger the target is, the more contact area you can get on the target and the more damage you can do at the same time. So yeah, while the Flock of Dooms did manage to counteract the enemy mobility, counteract the enemy Murder Horseman, it also took away a lot of the apotheosis that could have been used on the Shredder. So the Shredder died. And yeah, the reason why you want to surround your monsters with your friendly infantry is that something like this might happen. You see that the Shredder is completely exposed to the enemy surround. The Bloodwake Berserkers can now surround him and start striking him from the side, from the rear, from the front, and amplify the damage dealt to the guy here. Valkyr can also jump in and fight, but yeah. While the Shredder is just jumping around, you can see the Bloodwake Berserkers are definitely doing some damage to him. Now he's back to the embrace of the Star Chamber Guardians, but the Minotaurs are here, and they're getting quite a few models making contact with Lordmaster Mundi, with the Shredder. But yeah. Yeah, you can see that the Sauruses are going down and their numbers are thinning out, so not every Saurus is able to provide support to the Shredder, and he's largely separated from his own infantry support if we just turn on the shield like this. Now the polearm point guards are coming in, Minos are just surrounding the Shredder of Lustria, and there's no healing coming in. Maybe there was earlier, but I mean, there definitely isn't right now, and yeah. This might be healing. Okay, Apotheosis is on Shredder. Barely holding him in combat, but because of the throwing axes, the fire damage from the throwing axes, Apotheosis' healing was kind of cut in half, and he is still surrounded by enemy troops. There's no infantry nearby on 3 of his sides. There's only infantry on one side to provide support, and he's still surrounded on both fronts by Minos. There were 2 Minos and 1 Cornball unit on him, and he just went down like that. And the Bloodway Berserker are tough enough to crack without missiles dedicated to killing them. So, yeah, that is going to be GG here. Khorne is not happy with his army sitting there and not attacking. Sometimes Khorne needs patience too, but obviously Khorne is not a god of patience. So, yeah, and eventually Khorne launched its attack and managed to overpower the Lizardman blob. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed this little bit of multiplayer battles in the middle of the week. Yeah, whether you've been playing in the 20 or you've been watching the stream. And just a bit of announcement is next week I'm not going to be able to cast another 20 during Wednesday because I have a work commitment that keeps me away from my computer. So yeah. We'll be skipping next week in terms of 20, but we'll be back the week after. And yeah, hopefully, I hope everyone enjoy the rest of your summer, the rest of the next couple weeks. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching my stream, and I hope you all had a great time. We'll be meeting again in a couple of weeks. Before then, stay safe, stay hydrated, take care, and yeah, see you all in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.